What should we say?
Something about the first ever
Yeah.
Warhammer Battle Report.
Hey guys, welcome to the channel. We've been promising it for a while, and you'll notice we're filming in a slightly different location because tonight we're trying to film the first ever Battle Report. If you're watching this, it went okay, and it edited okay, and it all looks good, and it's on YouTube. If you're not watching this, well, you'll never know it existed, so don't worry too much. You won't lose any sleep.
We will.
This is just an intro this time round because this is the first one, and then hopefully, eventually, we'll streamline it into a really nice produced process, and they'll look lovely, and the crowd will just go wild. And
Yeah.
I mean, that's the plan.
Get cheerleaders.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll have cheerleaders in the corner, and yeah, exactly.
Not your dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's about somewhere. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to jump into the lists. We'll talk about the scenario, and then we'll do deployment and start playing. And hopefully, it will look okay. Fingers crossed. Anyway, let's jump into the lists. Okay, so if we haven't already mentioned, we are playing Open War today. We had a chat about it previously. I put some videos out before, spoke to some of the fans. They also, fans, it's nice, isn't it? They all said that they actually like to go down the narrative route, down the Open War route, not quite so much all the match play stuff. So Mike and I chatted about it and went, you know what, let's do it. But if we're going to do it, we'll go all in.
Yeah. So
we chatted yesterday and decided we would go power level. And then it was about picking a number. So I said if we aim for around 100 power level, I don't want to cap it at exactly 100 like we do with match play stuff, because the idea is we're not doing that. And we're trying to make it easier for people to follow and easier for us to pick up and play.
And we haven't done it before.
Well, exactly, we've never done it before. Neither of us have ever played power level before. We've only ever played match play and points. So we said about 100. Mike went away and wrote a list. Came back at 101.
Yeah, 101.
Yeah. I then went away and wrote my list, not knowing what his list was. 101. So I was quite lucky. Yeah, it worked out all right. We also compared the points, and they're about the same actually. I think mine was 1950, and yours was about 1906 or something like that.
Yeah,
so
they're
about the same. Yeah. So I'm quite happy with that. It should be okay. So what we'll do is we'll talk through my list, and you should see loads of lovely images of my mostly well-painted army, and then we'll talk through Mike's list, and we'll do the same again, and then we'll go into the board, and then we'll show deployment, and hopefully this will all come together and be nice and smooth.
And the narrative from the cards, because we're going to be pulling cards.
So we haven't pulled the Open War cards yet, so we don't know what we're playing, and that was done on purpose, picking the armies without knowing the situational scenario. Right, so I squeezed my list into 3 different detachments. I need 3 detachments. I know you say, but I can't take battalions. So I play Craftworld Eldar. For those of you that know the fluff behind Eldar, bikes, skimmers, jet bikes, Viper jet bikes, etc.
Nothing on foot.
Nothing on foot. Skyrunners, the works. So I have nothing on foot, which means I can't take battalion, and I can't get your standard 3+3 command points like most people use, because you normally see 3 squads of 5 tactical marines or something similar to that. So I had to squeeze it into 3 detachments to get the 3 command points. So I've got a Outrider detachment, which is obvious because it's all fast attack choices, and now in 8th edition, Wind Riders are fast attack, not troops, which is right, and I'm okay with it. A Spearhead detachment, which is the heavy support, heavy choice. Sounds weird, you'll understand when I tell you the list. And finally, a Supreme Command detachment. That gives me a command point for each, totaling 6 because I'm battle force, so I get the 3 extra. In the Outrider attachment, I'm heading it up with a Farseer Skyrunner. He's got a Witchblade. He will be the Warlord. His Warlord trait is Seer of the Shifting Vector. Basically, that means once per battle round, which is 2 player turns, he gets to reroll either one of a hit, a wound, a save, a Deny the Witch, or a Psychic test. One of the choice. So basically, if it's a 5-turn game, I get 5 free rerolls, which is kind of cool on my Warlord. Nice. And he's got 2 psychic powers. I've given him Guide and Fortune, the 2 classics, and obviously he gets Smite for free because he's a Psyker. And who won't cast Smite in the Smite phase? That's what it's called. Then we've got the 5 fast attack choices. So my 5 fast attack choices are 2 squads of 3 standard Wind Rider jet bikes, normal Shuriken catbolts. Actually, really like them in this edition. 1 squad of 3 Shuriken cannon Wind Rider jet bikes, and 2 squads of 3 Scat Laser jet bikes, Wind Rider jet bikes. When 8th edition dropped, I thought they'd been ruined because they were heavy support weapons.
Yeah.
Heavy support weapons. Heavy weapons.
Yeah.
So you would move and suffer -1 to hit. Then the Codex came along, and Simon don't suffer that penalty. Yay! Scatter bikes are back. Yeah, although they're still down to 4-up armour, which is again right. I'm not complaining. Then finally in that detachment, I've got 2 flyers. I've got a Hemlock Wraith Fighter. His psychic power is Embolden Horrify. and I've got a Crimson Hunter, not the Exarch, because I didn't have. I could have taken the Exarch, but that would have been like 103 power level compared to 101, and because I could get it exactly the same, I went, nope, we're going to go exactly the same. That way, no one can scream about balance. Hopefully,
I'm not worried about that one. It's the Hemlock.
Yeah, literally my favourite unit.
Yeah.
So the Hemlock's amazing. Hopefully you'll see it. He'll hope you don't.
Yeah.
Then we have a Spearhead detachment, which is heavy support. Essentially, you require 3 heavies, 1 HQ. I've got another Farseer on a jet bike. He's got a singing spear. That's how you can tell how he's different, because I never use it. It's just so I can tell which one's which. He has Mind, War and Doom, along with Smite for the Smite phase. And then we have 4 heavy support choices. I've got 2 Night Spinners and 2 Fire Prisms. Yeah. So Fire Prisms were always a bit meh. And I love the model because I think they just look cool, and they were always rubbish. Then the Codex dropped, a stratagem came out, and I went, ooh.
Well, they were rubbish when we played the first time without the Codex, weren't they?
Yeah.
You just basically gunlined everything and sat there and died.
What the Codex did to them, bring the points down a little bit. If they move less than half the distance, they fire twice. Instantly makes them better. Instantly, because it's like having 2, obviously. And then there's a stratagem where you can link fire, and I hope to show it to you. But people like to try and blow them up before I get a chance to do that.
I'm going to try.
Yeah, I might. It's my turn on my rules.
Yeah.
And then we've got the 2 Night Spinners with their Doom Weavers. I haven't used them in 8th edition yet. This is the first time they're getting filled in 8th edition. Because so far, I've only really played on Cast with John, and he was like, bring a Wraith Knight, bring it. So I always bought a Wraith Knight.
Yeah.
I haven't bought one tonight, because yawn. Yeah. And then finally, I've got my Supreme Command detachment, which is organised a little bit oddly, but it's the only way I could get them into a Supreme Command detachment and gain that command point. And I thought about not doing it this way. I thought about skipping the command point and having 1 unit of 4 instead. Yeah. But what I've got is I've got 1 squad of 2 Warlock Windriders, and then 2 squads of 1 Warlock Windriders. So the squad of 2 has got Conceal, Reveal and Protect Jinx. Ooh. The squad of 2 squads of 1 has got, let me look because I can't remember, one's got Empower, Innovate, and one's got Quicken, Restrain. The idea is that everything's got different powers on purpose. So I haven't got duplicates anywhere. So although we're playing narrative, and therefore I can spam as many of 1 power as I want because narrative allows you to do that, I can't.
Which could be devastating.
Well, yeah, it could be. There's some combinations
could be really devastating.
But I can't do that because I haven't taken duplicates of any power on purpose. I know, yeah. Oh. So I'm trying to draw people in. Draw them in. So that's what we've done with those, and that's the 3 squads of HQ essentially, because there's 2 single and 1 duplicate. Obviously, they all also have Smite, although their Smite is a reduced version of. It's a 9-inch range. I think it only does 1 mortal wound or something, so it's not that great. I say not that great. It's a mortal wound. They're always pretty cool. That's the list. Hopefully you've seen lovely photographs of it, and I say photograph like moving images and stuff, and it will be like that. Hopefully get some music on and
that'd be nice.
Yeah,
a little bit of background, setting the scene.
Yeah. So that's the Eldar list. Like I said, 101 power level, about 1950 points. I forgot to mention the reason why it's above 1900 points is because all 4 vehicles have got Spirit Stones for a 6-up. Essentially feel no pain, and Crystal Target Matrix, because that means if they fire at the nearest, they don't suffer the penalty for moving and firing heavy weapons. Not so important really. I just chucked it on there because I always chuck it on there when I play match play. And actually, we were aiming for kind of a 2,000 point target for match, so we're not far off. So that's where we're at with that. Anyway, next what we'll do is I'll hand the little microphone over to Mike, and we'll talk about his list. Right, so now we'll go through Mike's Ultramarines list that hasn't got Rebute Gulliman in it.
Nope.
I know it's odd watching an Ultramarines list on YouTube that hasn't got Gulliman. So this is why I'm excited.
He's not painted.
No, well, yeah, exactly, and that is kind of a rule. So,
but yeah, we played with him once, and you kind of semi-banned him. No, I mean,
I did not ban him.
He was devastating, to be fair, and I kind of get him anyway because I do the lieutenant and captain combo.
Yeah. So let's talk through your list. You've got 2 detachments.
Okay. So I've got 2 detachments: the Supreme Command detachment and a Spearhead detachment.
Cool.
So starting with the Supreme Command detachment, we've got 2 librarians. One of them is Tiggy, although I have to say now he's not the Tiggy model.
Yeah.
He's a stand-in.
First ever game on the channel, and he brings a proxy.
It is a proxy, but I don't like I have got it, but I don't like it.
No, I know. I understand.
Resin.
It's cool. I don't mind.
So I've got 2 librarians. Their powers are Null Zone, Might of Heroes, and Psychic Fortress for Tiggy, and then obviously with Smite. And then the other one has Might of Heroes and Psychic Scourge, as well as Smite. Then on the Lieutenant, I've got the power sword because it's a better model.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is a nice
I don't
model.
like the gun, even though the gun's probably better. But I like the.
I do like the gun.
sword.
I do, but the model for the sword is definitely a nice model. And I hate Primaris.
I was inspired by Martin Waller's version, so not name dropping, but he did inspire me to paint mine quite well. I think I'm quite proud of it. So
yeah,
you see it on camera.
We
later,
won't go too close.
Blur it. Fun.
Yeah. Anyway,
and then we've got in the elite slot in that detachment, we've got the Redemptor Dread with the macro plasma, big badass plasma gun. So I think that will do some damage, hopefully.
Yeah. I mostly see the macro plasma with those Redemptor Dreads nowadays. I haven't seen the
onslaught. The heavy onslaught cannon is awesome looking, but I just didn't. It didn't seem as threatening.
Yeah.
It's probably better.
I don't know. I think I'm more afraid of the macro plasma, to be honest.
Your tanks will be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay. Cool.
And then we've got the spearhead detachment. Now this one's quite full, so 2 seconds.
Off the battle scribe.
Off the battle
Off the third-party app for building list.
So we've got my HQ, my main warlord. It's the Primaris captain. He's actually got the Sanctic Halo for the 3-up invulnerable, and the ability to deny it and power. It's almost like it planned.
Yeah. Don't
against
say
your
that.
psychic heavy army. 2 intercessor squads, just standard ones. I love them. I love the models. Bit of a shame they can't get into transports that I have, but that's fine. 2 assault squads with jump packs, 2 eviscerators in there, or 1 in each squad. They'll be deep striking in probably. Is how I like to play them.
Are they on the sergeants or just a random squad member?
They are. I'm playing them on the sergeants.
That's cool.
But I've painted the heads from 7th, because I used to hide them in the squad, and I've got to change that over. But they are the sergeants, because you should lead from the front with the biggest weapon. So
yeah, of course.
That's the way. We've then got the heavy support choices. So 4 of these. We've got Devastator squad with plasma. No. Lots of melter.
Yeah, I was about to say, I thought they were multi-melter devs.
There were lots of multi-melter devs.
Yeah, from the old Skyhammer days.
The plasma comes in next.
Yeah.
5 Hell Blasters.
Yeah.
Yay! Liam loves Hell Blasters. We got a Land Raider Crusader with the multi-melter on top.
Okay.
And then a Predator with autocannon on top. Last cannon side Swansons. Just for a bit of fun. We're using the Ultramarines Warlord trait, so I want some command points back.
Yeah, and it's obviously Ultramarines chapter tactics as well.
So
not that I even know what they do.
Yeah.
That's how much I love Ultramarines.
Yeah.
You'll tell me in a minute.
I might.
Yeah. So that gives Mike a total of 5 command points as opposed to my 6. We're not heavily high on command points. A lot of these lists that we've got, with the exception of your Primaris stuff, are throwbacks from our 7th edition lists that we're squeezing into 8th. We are working on lists ourselves now for 8th edition, so they'll be a little bit different in the future. Probably some more command points. But I am more inclined to take what I think looks cool than what will get me loads of command points. And I think you're kind of the same.
It's kind of what I've done now. Yeah, I made all the models from the different box sets, and I used to have drop pods and jump packs and liked everything hammering in. And then I've just tried to fit it into what they have now. Yeah. It's not designed to be a brigade or a battalion or anything.
For now.
Yeah. So
because really, you could, considering how much you love Intercessors, you could paint 5 more up, and you've got a battalion there straight away.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you painted 5 up and dropped your elite choice and your 3 heavy support, your 3 HQ choices into that, battalion detachment straight away, 7 command points.
Lots of rifles.
Yeah, and then all you need to do is drop the Hell Blasters to fit those in. I'm just saying. Anyway, we're now going to look at the board, introduce the mission scenario type thing that we've come up with, which we haven't yet come up with, and then get into the game. So welcome to Warhammer's first ever battle report. Here we have our first ever gaming board, fully painted. I say painted by GameMat.eu. They supplied us the scenery and the map, as you can tell. What we've done is we've built a desolated planet. The planet has been bombarded, virus bombed, wiped clean. Nothing has been left to survive. It is a barren wasteland. Nothing but rocks and craters apart from one plant in the middle. There is some life here. We don't know how this life has been preserved. We don't know how it's been given birth to, but life exists on this planet. The Ultramarines were in orbit. They noticed this life form. They were drawn to it. They also noticed that Simon Han, that Eldar Craftworld were down here. Interested, intrigued. They didn't know why they were down here. They could just bombard the planet again, crush it into tiny little dust, ignore the presence of the Eldar, not find out why they're down here. However, the Primaris captain knows when the Eldar are around, when the Farseers are around, something is happening. Farseers have this trait. They can see the future. They can see the strands of fate, and they can adjust, modify, affect, and change them as they see fit to try and influence the future in the way that they want, it to progress. So the captain was interested. What are the Farseers after? What has produced this life down here? Could that be why they're here? So instead of crushing this planet, instead of taking away these remaining life forms and ignoring the fact that this plant life is sprouted, he decided to make planetfall and come and find out what is going on. Tonight we'll see a head-to-head. The Ultramarines will take on Craftworld Sim Han. Who will come out victorious? If the Eldar lose, has the Farseer still achieved his goal? There's only one we will find out in this epic battle report of Warhammer 40,000 8th edition. So we have picked our open war cards. Mike shuffled, I cut, we picked the top for each. For those of you who don't know of open war, you have 3 sets of cards. The first one is deployments, second one objectives, third one's twists. Deployment is deployment, it just gives you loads of different types of deployment zones for you to use. Second one, objective, gives you your main objective for the mission. So we don't tend to use objective cards or stuff like that. We just have one main objective card. Sometimes it can be 4 objectives, 6 objectives, or a specific target or individual or anything like that. The third one's a twist. So a twist basically adds a different sort of aspect to the game. The one I've got tonight is actually really cool. So first of all, we will show you the deployment zone. So this is the deployment card that Mike picked at the top of the deck, which will be quite interesting to set up and probably quite difficult. So we won't film setting that up, but you know, you get what's going on there. You now, because you've seen that card, you'll see what the deployment zone is when we have deployed. The second one is the objective, kill the courier. Never played this one before, really quite excited about it. So basically, once we've deployed, at the start of the first battle round, before we determine who has the first turn, we each pick a model, a single model. That model is the courier. If the opponent kills the courier, they win. That's it. End of. Bob and I have already been discussing who our couriers are, and I think we've come up with an idea. We'll talk about that once we've deployed though anyway. And finally is the twist, which makes the courier thing actually really, really cool. So the twist is quite simple. Dead of Night, which kind of fits the theme for the board, the barren wasteland that's been bombarded, destroyed, annihilated. Dead of Night is maximum range of all shooting attacks and psychic powers is 12 inches. The player who takes the first turn rolls a dice at the start of each battle round after that, and on a 4+, 6 inches added to the maximum range. This carries on and on and on. So, in 5 battle rounds, if he rolls a 4 up each time, then obviously we can only add 30 inches to the original 12, which means there's a maximum in the game of 42 inches, nothing more than that. If there's a 6th turn, that can go up to 48, but it's highly unlikely. Means my fire prisms might not be quite so effective, but it is really interesting as a twist. I really like it. I think it's quite exciting. It will encourage me to push out with my skimmers, which I don't normally do. It will encourage him to push out with his heavy supports, which he doesn't normally do. So hopefully this means that this first game will be a really fun and interesting one. Anyway, we're going to start rolling off for deployment and stuff. We'll deploy and we'll come back to you. Okay, so in true amateur style, having done this never before and only for the first time, both of us forgot something ever so slight. So, Mike forgot to tell us about a stratagem he was going to use, which I'll talk to him about in a minute, and I forgot to tell you about a relic on my Warlord. So my Warlord has a relic called the Phoenix Gem. It's within the Eldar decks in the normal relic type section. It's not specific to any Craftworld. Basically, when he dies on a 2+, he blows up and causes mortal wounds for everything nearby, which is quite cool. If it comes into play, sometimes it doesn't. Mike, what did you forget to tell us about? I'm going to show you, Mike.
Hi. I forgot to tell you that my captain, my Primaris captain, is going to become a chapter master, and so I'm going to use three command points.
So Mike spent 3 command points straight away,
yeah.
And his Primaris captain is now a chapter master. For those of you who don't know, that improves his stats slightly, I think, but mostly gives him reroll all to fail to hits, which is quite cool actually. We quite like that. So Mike spent those 3 command points, and as per his Ultramarines Warlord trait, I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's my Warlord
trait. He can roll a dice for every command point he spent, and on a 5+, he gets them back. Now, this is where you're going to see full-blown amateur. I haven't recorded dice roll before, ever. So this could be horrendous, and this could be an hour and a half of me chasing dice around the table, I haven't got the practice that Winters and Lawrence have got, so give me some time. Mike, where are we going to roll them?
Somewhere in here.
Yeah, so I'm aiming somewhere in there. So if you roll okay, you won't let me down. So we've got a 1, a 2 and a 3. So he's now down to 2 command points before the game even started. Right. Okay, so we know the mission. The mission is courier. So we both had to pick a model who was the courier. Mike, very fluffy, has picked this guy down here. He's an ancient. He has a banner. He allows people to attack again once they die, I think, isn't it? Something like that. On a 4-up or something, they get to attack again. So that's because he's the banner bearer. That's quite a fluffy choice. I didn't really have anything that was that fluffy, and you can't pick your warlord. So what I decided to do was pick my second Farseer. He is the courier there. You can tell he's the courier because he's literally surrounded. I don't want him to die. So he's my courier. Anyway, let's talk through deployment. So I'll take you through my deployment first, and then we'll get Mike to talk through his deployment, and then we'll start playing. And this is really exciting. You might be able to tell because I'll get really excited later on. Anyway, Mike, yeah, I will be jumping up and down. The camera will be shaking. Mike won the roll off, so he got to pick his deployment zone, and he picked this side. Yeah. I then got to place the first unit. My first unit involved me spending my first command point. So I spent a command point. Right, excuse the quick break. You'll notice in the background the door's now shut because we got invaded by a collie again. Anyway, I spent a command point, and what I did with that command point was use Cloud Strike. For those of you who don't know, Eldar have 2 really cool stratagems. One's called Cloud Strike, one's called Webway Strike. Both for a single command point. Webway allows you to spend up to 3 if you want. Essentially, you put stuff in Deep Strike Reserve. So Cloud Strike, you pick an Eldar vehicle with a fly keyword, which in my instance is all of my vehicles, and you can put one of them in essentially Deep Strike Reserve. Webway Strike allows you to pick 1 or 2, depending on whether you spend 1 or 3 command points, and you can put an Eldar infantry or biker unit in Deep Strike Reserve. I really strongly contemplated sticking 2 squads of bikes in reserve with the shuriken catapults because I think that'd be awesomely cool to just drop in like some sort of ambush style. However, that would use 3 of my 6 command points, and I wasn't too keen on that, so I went for Cloud Strike, and surprise, surprise, I put the Hemlock in reserve. Yeah. Which Mike basically had already called. So that's what we did. Anyway, I then placed the first unit. The first thing I did was stick a fire prism down here. Probably looks like a bit of a stupid choice, considering the twist means that the maximum range is 12 inches. But because of a stratagem I can use where they can link fire, all I need to be able to do is see the other fire prism who's there. So if he pushes forward and can get into range, I can fire the second one through him, and if he does then get wrecked because he'll be close because of the twist, I've still got one alive. It probably won't work. I'm probably even playing it wrong. It does say it restricts the view or restricts the range of psychic powers and shooting. It doesn't say anything about stratagems or any of that sort of stuff. So that's how we're going to play it because I think I'm right. Anyway, I won't go case by case what we did. Essentially, we have got the Crimson Hunter over here. He's got Bright Lances and the normal weapon, the normal pulse laser he's fitted with, just because I didn't tell you during the list phase. We've got the first Night Spinner here. There's a squad of 3 Shuriken Catapult bikes. Another squad of 3 Shuriken Catapult bikes. They have got the Warlord and the 2 single Warlocks behind them. So in there you've got Quicken Restrain. You've got something else. I think Horrify. Bold and Horrify, thank you. And then he's got Guide and Fortune. I didn't want him at the front attacking. I wanted the other one at the front attacking. But the other one at the front is the other one that I did have at the front is another courier, and I don't want him at the front because he'll die. Definitely don't. So they swap places, which means that the defensive powers are sat at the back and the defensive powers are sat at the front. Very fluffy. Anyway, then we've got the squad of 2 Warlocks leading up in front of this Farseer here, who is obviously the courier. 2 squads of 3 scatter bikes. I know they're long range and I haven't got the range because of the twist. However, they have got the range. So if it starts to open up, if the mist starts to clear, they should be able to get some fire down. We've got the second Wave Serpent, I lied to you, Night Spinner down here behind these rocks. And then finally, we've got 3 cannon bikes. I've placed for 3 cannon bikes, but if I come back, if this works, I don't bump into my kitchen side. If you see the spread of models, what I've done essentially is made sure that he can't just deploy anything at all within 9 inches of my models that will be then in my deployment zone. So he can't drop in behind because he's got 2 squads of 5 Assault Marines in reserve, which we'll talk about in just a minute when we go through Mike's deployment. Right, so now we'll talk about Mike's deployment. So he didn't get the first drop, but he did have he did have the first final drop. If that makes sense. So much like in his marriage, he finished first, which means that currently he gets the +1 to his roll to see who goes first as per chapter approved. Although we don't have the new chapter approved book at the moment because I've been too lazy to go and buy it, and I don't get stuff sent through for free yet.
Mine's shipping.
Oh, right, okay, good. Yeah, so we'll have it soon, but just not quite tonight. But because we're playing mostly narrative and open war, it's not going to affect us all that much, but I would like to play some of the missions. I watched one on Tabletop Tactics today, which was actually a really cool mission. Right, so, Mike, go on then. Your deployment, talk us through it.
So, Liam got to deploy one unit first. He null deployed and put it into Deep Strike Reserve. Very nice of him. So I did the same, stuck an assault squad in Deep Strike Reserve, made him go first. It didn't massively help because he put a tank at the back of the board, so I got over that and moved on. So we have basically got the Primaris troops in a big bubble around the core HQ units. So we've got Tiggy, this is my Tiggy model, the Ancient, the Captain or Chapter Master, and then the Lieutenant. We've then got the Hellblasters on one side, protecting that edge with the Predator, the Redemptor at the back, kind of covering the back arc, and then Intercessors all the way around the front, just kind of stop him coming over, because he can fly, so he can come straight at me however he wants, and I've got nice big dirty guns on both sides, so if he swings round the sides, I think I've got it covered. Over here we're in the Land Raider, we've got the Devastators and the second Librarian.
Yeah, the non-Tiggy Librarian, right?
The non-Tiggy Librarian.
Right, cool. Okay, yeah. And then you've got 2 units of Assault Marines in Deep Strike Reserve. Yeah, I stuck the other set of Assault Marines into Deep Strike Reserve as well. Yeah, currently guarding the kettle.
So yeah, they are. So the Ancient is well protected.
Yeah, so I watched you deploy. Obviously, as you know, deployment is one at a time. So he does one, I do one, he does one, I do one, etc., etc. And I did notice that to start with, you had your Ancient in here, you had all these models covering the front and the Predator there, and before you put the Redemptor down, there was nothing around here.
There was nothing.
So I was looking at that big gap thinking, does he know that everything I've got can fly? Then you put the Redemptor down, and he sort of took a while, didn't you? Because he was back here for a bit, then he came here for a bit, then he was back here for a bit, and eventually he ended up there. And the second he ended up there, I went, nuts, because that basically restricts me from dropping in there now.
So he was done there. Initially, he was back here in between these boulders, just to try and give me a bigger bubble if he was to deep strike that hemlock in. But I thought actually, because we're playing the night thing, I want as much getting re-rolls as I can. So everything is the 6-inch bubble. It's castled, but
it's more than you normally castle.
It is more than normally castle, but it's done in sort of squads formations. Everything's kind of hopefully narratively.
But as you can see, because of the deployment map that we've got, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe people can correct me in the comments below, but as far as I'm aware, with these open war missions, there is no restrictions to how close or far away you can deploy from the enemy. So as far as I'm aware, that point in the centre, we could have deployed right opposite each other if we wanted. That was the point roughly there. So we have got about 8 or 9 inches. My inches are always wrong, ask my wife. So there is not that big a gap in between the two. We could have been even closer, to be honest with you. And when he wasn't filling that back gap, my initial thought was, well, these jet bikes can fly 14 inches. Yeah. Maybe even longer, maybe 16 inches thinking about it, actually. And then if they want to turbo boost, they turbo boost an additional 6 flat. So they basically get a 22-inch move. Yep. There is no reason why I couldn't have just jumped in behind you and he would suddenly be the nearest. And then obviously you filled it with the Redemptor and some Primaris Marines. Clever move, wise move. However, I do notice that your backfield is looking rather barren.
It is.
Which is quite nice, because I've got something in Cloud Strike, which is quite cool.
It is.
Not yet decided where it's going to go. Anyway, we're going to grab some dice. We will then roll to see who goes first. We will then roll for Seize Initiative, and then we'll go on to the first battle round, first movement phase, for the first ever game on the channel. Okay, so the first game-based dice roll, I suppose, that are recorded on the channel, because we rolled to see if your command coins get back, but I don't want to claim that they're the first dice roll on the channel.
I'd like to not claim them because they lost.
They were poor. So we're going to try again and roll in here, but this is now me filming me rolling, because this could be catastrophic. Anyway, let's see what happens. A 3 and a 6. So Brom got +1 anyway, so he gets a 7. So there's no way I was ever beating that. And I believe, as per new chapter approved, you can't re-roll any of these anyway. So he currently has first turn. However, obviously in this scenario, considering how close we all are, although he's only got a 12-inch range, I'm still going to try and seize initiative. So let's see if the first ever seize on the channel is in fact a seize.
Oh my life.
Oh, yeah. If you can't see that, that there is the more logo on the dice, which will be available soon. Anyway, that is a seized initiative. How do you feel about
that? Like they're weighted.
Yeah.
No, they can't be.
Yeah,
I'm sure
well,
they can't be. Maybe
they might be. Should we try? I'm going to try and disprove that they're weighted.
they are not weighted.
Oh, they're not weighted. There we go. So, I'll get onto my first movement phase.
It's almost like the Eldar saw it coming.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they lured me into a false
So
sense
you
of
had
security.
first turn, and the Farseer went, nope,
No.
not happy with that. That's not how I want it to work.
Okay.
So we're going to move on to Eldar, turn 1. So I went straight into my movement phase, and I didn't even think about the twist. So the twist, which I can't remember what it is, something darkness or something dark side. Dead of Night, that's the one.
Dead of Night.
Dead of Night basically means all our weapons are restricted to 12 inches. It says that the player who gets first turn, then at the beginning of each battle round rolls a d6 on a 4+. The range of all weapons and psychic powers are increased by 6 inches. I kind of want it, I think, because I don't want to be that close, because my armour tends to fall to pieces when I'm shot by these guys. So I don't want to be close. He probably doesn't mind too much, because he's got
Rapid fire
good
everything.
marine armour. So on a 4-up, that's probably the first cocked dice on the channel. There you go, it's a game of firsts. So it's a 3. So that means that the range remains at 12 inches for the first game turn. Okay, so Eldar turn 1 movement phase. Let's talk you through what we've done. So, I didn't want to be boring because what's the point? So I decided to be quite aggressive. We've only got a 12-inch range anyway, so I decided to push a load of my stuff forward and see what we could do. I pushed these 3 Shuriken cannon bikes forward here. They're not in range of anything, which actually is probably daft because he can obliterate them, but they're going to be useless back here anyway. The likelihood of him deep striking 5 Assault Marines back there is probably quite slim, and even if he did, am I that bothered? Probably not. So I pushed them forward. This Night Spinner here has decided to stay where he is, just for now, just because I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket on the off chance that this offensive doesn't work. We pushed a Fire Prism forward here. We put him just in range of this Land Raider, but more importantly, he's also within line of sight of that Fire Prism for the linked fire stratagem that I'm hoping to show you in a minute. We pushed the Courier forward, very bold move, very bold move. Because of the deep striking abilities of his Assault Marines, and because of where they could come in from, I've decided to stick him forward here on the off chance that he's not going to want to drop too close to the middle of my lines because he'll be surrounded, and maybe, just maybe, I'll be able to take those Assault Marines out should they drop in. Anyway, we don't know what he's going to do yet, we'll wait and see. Over at the far side, you'll see that a Night Spinner has pushed forward here, puts him within 12 inches of some of his units through here. Right in front of the camera, you can see the 3 jet bikes here have hopped up on top of the hill, firing down on the Ultramarines down here. You'll see, going very aggressive, the Warlord and his 2 Warlocks. What better way to lead than to lead from the front? The Farseer has decided certain members of this Ultramarines contingent need to die. What better way to do that than to make sure... which better way to ensure that than to do it yourself? So he's leading the charge in there with his 2 Warlocks. They've got some psychic power goodness that we're hoping to get off. Maybe we'll jump into combat. Maybe they'll be rubbish, but we'll wait and see. At the far side, we've got 3 more Shuriken catapult bikes. They are just within 12 inches of these Hellblasters, so they're in range. There's another strategy in mind. Let's see if we can pull that one off. Finally, over on the far side, I say finally, penultimately over on the far side, the Crimson Hunter. He's gone parent up the flank and turned in slightly to start circling above, like an angry vulture. Obviously, his weapons, although decent at 48 odd inch ranges, not so much with this twist, only 12 inches. So we've pushed him up towards that Predator in the off chance that we can unload and maybe take him down, hurt him a bit, make him a little bit weaker. Nerf his shooting is the main one because that Predator can sting. He's got the autocannons out on top, not the last cannons, and that's still quite a powerful weapon with a flat 3 damage. Finally, we Cloud Striked. We Cloud Striked on turn 1. They have not dropped in here. It's an odd choice for some people to drop him in here, considering what the mission is with the Courier. However, that Land Raider is full of multi-melted devs and a Librarian, and I like to kill them quite quickly because they can put some serious hurt on some of my tanks. If I would have dropped within 12 inches of his infantry, they are able to open up with a stratagem and shoot at me in not my deployment phase, in my movement phase.
Or spec scan.
Or spec scan,
2
thank you,
command
Mike.
points.
So it costs him 2 command points, which is the only 2 he's got left. So I could have teased him into it, but I've done it before. I've dropped in front of his Hellblasters and then been annihilated. I didn't fancy that this time round, so I decided to drop in here and try and focus on that Land Raider. Anyway, that's my movement. I'm going to work out what we're going to do in the Psychic phase, and then we'll move on to Eldar Psychic phase. Okay, I've got 5 command points left. in this turn, I'm hoping to use 4 command points. Just because I tend to forget I've even got them, why not try and show off some fancy Eldar tricks? What are you laughing at? Why is that funny? I do forget I've got command points. I'm terrible for it. I'm still not used to it in 8th edition. So, the first one we're going to chuck down in the Psychic phase is Seer Council. Seer Council, I pick a Farseer. Clearly I'm picking the Warlord at the front. And I pick a Warlock nearby. Here's my Farseer and Warlock. I'll tell you which Warlock it is in a minute. Basically, once you've spent this command point, they both get to +1 to their Psychic test. So, the Farseer has Guide, Fortune and Smite. One Warlock has Quicken, Restrain, and the other has Empower, Innovate. Empower, Innovate is the guy without the hood up. So he's the guy on the left, top left-hand corner of the screen as you look at him. Thank you for your finger. He's the guy that's going to be part of the Seer Council. So his Empower, Innovate will be cast on a better roll. So that's the first stratagem I'm going to use in the game that's not in deployment phase. So, first of all, we're going to try and enervate, you tell me if I've used that wrong, the Primaris Intercessor unit, they are Intercessors? Intercessors in front of that Warlock. So, it's normally a warp charge value of 6. Choose an enemy unit within 18 inches of the Psychic. Your opponent must subtract 1 from all wound rolls made of that unit in the fight phase until your next Psychic phase. So it's a warp charge value of 6, I get +1 to my Psychic test. So I get 8, which becomes a 9. Would you like to try and deny?
I would.
You would?
Yeah, with Tiggy.
Yeah, okay, so Tiggy is going to try and deny. 2 dice. 10, which becomes an 11. 1. So he stops that, so Innovate doesn't go off. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cast Guide. Guide is going to be cast from this Farseer here onto this squad of 3 bikers over here. He wants to make sure that they hit home. He needs to make sure that their effectiveness is as high as it possibly can be. Guide is a warp charge value of 7. You'll notice with the Farseer powers, they're all warp charge values of 7. Obviously, he's got his Seer Council stratagem off, so he gets +1. So, I don't know if that's cocked or not, Mike. Yes, it is. In that case, they both are. So we'll re-roll that with cocked dice. So we get that again on a 6 and a 2, which is 8, which becomes a 9. However, one of my Warlord traits allows me to reroll a single dice per phase. Now, I kind of really want to make sure this goes off, and I think you're already thinking about denying it.
I am.
So we're going to reroll this 1-2 using his Warlord trait, Seer of the Shifting Vector. To get a 3, which makes it a 9, which +1 for his Seer Council makes it a 10. Would you like to try and deny that one? Basically, with his with Tigris, he can deny 3 psychic powers, I think it is, isn't it?
It's 2.
2, okay.
But I've got another one I can deny with the Chapter Master.
The Chapter Master, yeah, because of his relic.
Yeah. I am going to be ballsy and try and deny that one because I hate Guide.
Okay, so with your 2d6, were you using Tigris or are you using...
I am using Tigris.
Tigris, so you need 9.
No.
So you fail to deny that power. So that unit up there has Guide on them. So they should be a little bit more effective in their shooting phase. The Seer is then going to try and cast Fortune on himself, because he is the Warlord, so it would be nice to keep him alive. Warp charge value of 7 again. I keep putting it down here. That's cocked, am I right? You happy with that?
Yeah, I'm happy.
There, so that's 9, which becomes a 10 again. You still have 1 power you can deny.
I have. So I'm going to, because you're right in my face, I'm going to have a go at denying this with the Chapter Master.
So you're going to try and deny Fortune?
I am. And it's not going to
so
work.
So he fails. Now, the Seer's now cast 2 powers. That's all he can cast. Yes. However, I have a stratagem called Unparalleled Mastery. Here it is. Essentially, when the Farseer has used his last psychic power, spend a command point, and I can manifest another psychic power. So now he's going to cast Smite. Cool. On a unit of 5 Intercessors, whatever you want to call them, right in front of them. Now, luckily, Brom's blown all of his denies.
I have.
Yes, so you can't deny this.
No, I can't.
And I haven't used my runes of the Farseer yet, so if I fail to successfully cast, I can reroll. I don't fail, I get a 9. It becomes a 10. However, runes of the Farseer allow me to reroll any number of dice on the psychic test. I don't have to do a full reroll. If I get higher than a 3, so it's going to go off because I've got 6 and he can't deny it. If I get higher than a 3, that becomes, if I get a 4, for example, that becomes a 10, which becomes 11 because of Seer Council, which means it's D6 mortal wounds instead of 3. D3 mortal wounds. So we're going to reroll that 3. For a 4, which becomes a 10, it's like I wrote it.
It is.
Which becomes a 10, which is an 11, which is D6 mortal wounds.
Please be a 1. Yeah,
For 2.
That's okay.
However,
You'll reroll.
if I burn one of my final command points, I know I've already used 3, so I've only got 3 left. If I burn a command point for a reroll,
You do.
I still only get 2 wounds. Yes. So there's 2 mortal wounds, which means there's 1 intercessor dead, I believe.
Yeah. You want me to remove him now?
Yeah. Okay. Finally, the warlock that wasn't involved in the Seer Council is going to also cast Smite. Now, warlocks have this destructor special rule, which means their Smite is nerfed. They only have a 9-inch range rather than 18-inch range. They don't do D3 mortal wounds. They only ever do 1 mortal wound if they're a single warlock. If they're in a warlock council, it can get buffed up, but I haven't got a council big enough to worry about that. Anyway, he has 2d6 to cast, obviously. He needs a 5 or more. He casts it on 7. You can't deny it. He does another single mortal wound.
Okay.
So we'll get a wound dice together and we'll place one on top of those models sometime soon. Anyway, that is their psychic powers complete. Finally, we're going to come over here. I know it seems daft because really they're not in range of anything, but what they can do is they can cast Protect. Protect increases your saving throw by 1. So the Warlock Council is going to cast Protect on the Farseer. Oh, so you can see that is an 8. Protect is a warp charge value of 7. So the Farseer now has +1 to his saving throw. He has a 4-up invulnerable save. That becomes a 3-up invulnerable save. Let's try and keep him alive.
Yeah.
That is the Eldar Psychic phase complete. We will go on to Eldar Shooting turn 1. Okay, so we move on to Eldar turn 1 Shooting. Wasn't quite sure where I was going to go. However, I've got an idea. First thing I'm going to do is spend my 5th command point. I know how many I've spent on this and we'll work it out, but I think I've got 2 or 3 left. I'm not going to use any more than 2 anyway, so don't worry too much. The next one I'm going to use is called Linked Fire. So the reason why I'm going to use it now is because I've gone quite close to his Land Raider, so this might be the only chance I get to get it off. So we're going to use Linked Fire on this fire prism here. So basically what that means is that he now can't shoot until the end of the shooting phase. However, this fire prism over here can link through him to shoot at anything that he can see, which obviously includes the Land Raider, which is quite nice. However, I don't think I have to fire now. Okay, so I've just read through Linked Fire, just to double check. I don't want to get things wrong on the first video. It doesn't say that I have to fire now, but I can declare I'm using it now. I could declare I'm using it later on. It doesn't make any difference because I was going to do it anyway. So unless people get really funny about it, I'm sure it's okay. Anyway, Linked Fire will be in play, so I'll put Linked Fire up next to that fire prism to remind me later. The only reason why I haven't fired it now, because I thought to myself, actually, do I want to fire that now? Do I want to fire the fire prisms first? Or do I want to fire the Hemlock first at the Land Raider? Probably that. Because I'm a little bit angry that I forgot to smite with the Hemlock, to be honest. So the first thing I'm going to do, it's a Psyker. It can horrify and it can smite. And I looked at the range to those Marines over there and it was out of range. Didn't think that I could smite a Land Raider. Would have been really helpful. Learn, remember for next time. Anyway, so the first thing we're going to do is fire its heavy D size at this Land Raider. Heavy D size in the Codex are absolutely vile. So they are 2d3 shots for a total of 5 shots. 5 shots, Brom. Now its ballistic skill's good, but it doesn't matter because it auto hits.
Excellent. We love that.
We do love that. Not only does it auto hit, but it's a strength 12 weapon with an AP of -4. It does do 2 damage each. So, strength 12, toughness 8. I wound you on 3s.
Yeah.
That would be 5 wounds.
5 ups.
AP -4. So that's 5 6-ups. If I'll give you your 6-ups here.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, nice, nice. So 5 6-up saves.
I make none.
There's not a single more logo, so you make no saves at 2 damage apiece, which means you lose 10 wounds.
Ouch.
Yeah, I bet that hurt, didn't it?
A little bit.
Right, so actually now I probably am going to fire the fire prism at that and try and open it up. So let me work out what profile I'm going to shoot. Okay, so I made a slight boo-boo, but I'm not that bothered. So the idea was that the fire prisms would wait. The Hemlock would blow the Land Raider up. The Hemlocks would then, the fire prisms then destroy what's inside. However, the Hemlock can't blow the Land Raider up. The maximum it could have done was 12 wounds, plus 3 for Smite, which is 15. And the Land Raider's got 16 wounds.
Yeah.
That was an old 7th edition hardback to try and blow it up. That's my fault. I'm not going to cry.
You have nearly blown it up. It's only
I have
6
nearly
wounds
blown it
left.
up, yeah. So ultimately, I'm going to still try and blow it up. So now we're going to fire the fire prisms at the Land Raider. Okay, so as per the stratagem, I can't fire the forward fire prism until the very end of the shooting phase. That's just what the stratagem tells me. However, I can fire this back one. The bonus to this back one is that it didn't move. If fire prisms move less than half their distance, they get to fire twice. So I'm going to fire its big gun, which is heavy 1, strength 12, AP minus 5, d6 damage. However, I get 2 shots with this because it didn't move. As per the stratagem, when I fire, I can reroll further hits and further wounds. So I hit with 1 and miss with the other, but I get to reroll further hits. I hit twice, there's 2 hits. Strength 12 means it's 3s to wound the Land Raider. Both wound. AP minus 5 means he doesn't get a save. Each is d6 damage.
He's dead.
That is 8 wounds. That is a dead Land Raider. I'm pretty sure that Prime Mercenary there is within 6 inches, is he not?
I would think he is.
Let's have a look. Is he within 6 inches?
Yeah.
So we might as well roll to see if it blows up, Mr. Michael.
No.
It does not blow up. The Land Raider is destroyed. We're going to have to roll some dice for the guys that get out. Okay, so the Land Raider is now a burning mess. It is molten slag. It has been wrecked. The second fire prism is not even going to get to fire. Oh well, it did its job. However, there are 6 people inside. There's 5 multi-melter devastators and a librarian. So we're going to roll some dice now, and on ones, people die.
Nice. That's amazing.
that was the most underwhelming celebration I've ever
That's
heard in my
amazing.
life. No.
Well, I've had so many bad rolls so far. I thought someone was going to die.
So Mike's guys get out. The Land Raider disappears. I have first blood. Nobody else dies. So the Land Raider is wrecked. The guys disembarked first. You saw the dice rolls. No one died. They've now got out, and they're closest to the tank. So Mike's a little bit happy, but I don't think he's that happy because he's lost his Land Raider. So he's not ecstatic.
I like my Land Raider.
Yeah, but he was a little bit happy. A side note, just whilst we're here, I know I keep stopping and starting. I want to make sure I get things right the first time round. Obviously, we'll get better at this. Just bear with us. Anyway, moving on. So these cannon bikes down here can't shoot. These guys through here can't shoot. This Night Spinner here can't shoot. That 5% there's just shot. So we're going to go over here. The first thing we're going to do is fire these 3 shuriken cannon bikes on top of the hill. Okay, so these 3 they're not scatter. These are shuriken catapult bikes up here. We're going to fire down onto the hell blasters. So they are 3s to hit with rerolls because of guide. Which they did okay. They didn't do too badly at all. So they've only got 5 dice that have missed. Not that bad because I get to reroll. So 2 misses in total, which means 10 hits. Now, Primaris Marines, are they toughness 4 or 5?
5.
Don't make it up. Make sure we know. We're going to roll to wound, and we need 4s or 5s. They are a strength 4 weapon, and Mike's about to tell me that Primaris Marines are toughness 4 with 2 wounds.
Yeah.
So it's 4s to wound. 6s are AP minus 3. So that was a wound. There are 6 wounds at normal armour save, if you want to take those first. So 6 3-up saves for you.
Safe.
You make all of them, and then 2 6-up saves remaining.
I do not make them.
So that's a dead Primaris Marine. A Hellblaster, in fact, isn't it?
It is a dead Hellblaster.
I'll take that. I like that. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing again with these 3 Shuriken Catapult bikes over the back here. They're going to fire at the Hellblasters. So they're going to shoot their 12 shots. They are not guided, so they will not get the same rerolls. Let's hope they roll better in the first instance. Not too bad. I'll take that. 2 misses. So they did just as well, but without guide. Yet again, 4s to wound. 6s are AP minus 3. That's good. So there's 3 AP minus 3s and 3 normal wounds. So if you'd like to take your 3 armour saves first, of 3 up. You fail all 3, so 2 die. Sorry, 1 dies, 1's down to 1 wound. And then you've got 3 6-up saves. He's down to 1 wound, he's not dead.
Yeah. We'll track him there. And then 3
6-up saves. So now another 1.5 die.
Yeah,
So
okay.
he is now dead. There the guys removed
the
as
sergeant.
well. I'm quite happy with that. And I was going to fire and fade for a command point, but I don't think I'm going to anymore. The Night Spinner is in range of the Predator. He's also in range of the Intercessors here in front of the Seer. If I kill those Intercessors, the Seer and his Warlocks have access to that Lieutenant, which Brom's very proud of how well he's painted it. Look at that. So I think what we're going to do is fire the Night Spinner at the Intercessors, because Night Spinners don't need line of sight to fire. Anyway, it's a heavy 2d6 weapon, which gives him 9 shots. Sounds good, however, he has suffered a -1 to hit because he's moved. And Crystal Targeting Matrix only means he gets to fire at the nearest enemy at full ballistic skill. It's only 9 shots, Brom. I don't know why you give me that many dice. Anyway, so he now hits on 4s, the Intercessors. Still not bad. Not bad at all. So 4 hits. Strength 7, toughness is 4, so it's 3s to wounds. 2 wounds, normal AP. So the 2-3 up save. 6 is would have been AP -4, by the way. And they're fine. Okay, so the next thing to fire will be the Crimson Hunter. Not an X-Arc, but the Crimson Hunter is going to open up into the Predator. So the first thing I'm going to fire is his Pulse Laser. 2 shots. Crimson Hunters are ballistic skill 2+. They hit on 2s, but because they're heavy weapons and it moved, it suffered a -1 to hit, so they hit on 3s. So he hits with both of those. There's a 4 and a 6. They are strength 8. A Predator is toughness 7.
Yeah.
So it's 3s to wound. 2 wounds. These are AP -3. So 2 6-up saves. And they are flat 3 damage. Saves 1, loses 1. So he takes 3 wounds. And finally we'll fire his Bright Lances. Again, 3s to hit like that. 3s to wound. Like that. They're AP -4, so you get no save, and they're D6 damage. For a total of 10 wounds.
It's only got 11, Liam.
So it's got 1 left.
3. No.
Oh, so it's got 11 to start with?
It's got 11 to start with.
No.
Yeah.
I thought they had more than that.
No.
Oh.
11 wounds.
Oh.
And you've done 13.
Right, we should probably see if it explodes then.
Yeah. No.
No, it doesn't explode. Predator's gone. This is going really well. Okay, the final thing we've got left to fire then is the Farseer and his cronies down there. The Seer wants rid of these Intercessors in front of them. They want to make their way to that Lieutenant. The closer they are to the Lieutenant, I told Winters off for that. Lieutenant. The closer they are to that Lieutenant, the closer they get to the Courier. That's what we're hunting. That's what we're after. We need his banner. I don't know why. I haven't worked that out yet. Anyway, first things first, we're going to fire the 2 Warlocks into the Intercessors right in front of them.
So just before you do this, Master of Prescience from Tiggy, 6
Okay.
inches, means you've got a -1 from your hit.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So now hit on 4. Is that a power or something? Or is it just something else?
It's a Tigerius special Master of Prescience thing. So at the start of each of your opponent's shooting phases, I probably should have declared that really early.
Yeah.
Are you okay with it now? Or
I'm fine with it now.
Cool.
Considering I've blown up your Land Raider and your Predator,
And
I am
glasses.
more than fine. I am more than fine with using that now. That's not a problem.
Until the end of the phase, your opponent must subtract 1 from hit rolls against that unit.
And you're declaring the Intercessors at this point.
I'm doing it now because
Yeah,
I
you
would have read
really
it
should have
earlier.
put, you really should have put the Predator or something, because then I wouldn't have been hitting with most of those weapons and the
Yeah, I know.
Lesson that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I remembered it late.
Yeah, that's not a problem. You remembered it. So I am now forced to hit with the Warlocks.
But you hit a lot.
So I still hit quite well. I only missed with 2. That was a hit, obviously. You can tell because you saw it on camera. Strength 4, toughness 4, wound on 4s, 6s at AP -3. So there's 2 6s there for AP -3 and 2 normal wounds. If you want to do the 2 wounds first.
Safe.
So safe, and then the 2 6-up saves. We've
Decent.
got a 6 and a 5, so you only lose a single wound, which means that guy there is now kaput. Finally, the Farseer opens up. He normally hits on 2s, but because of Tiggy's Master of Prescience, he now hits on 3s. Cool, so he would have hit with that one, but he missed because of Master of Prescience. So now he wounds on 4s, 6s at AP -3. So 2 more wounds, if you want to do those saves first.
Safe.
And then 1 6-up, please.
Oh.
Makes it! So there's no more wounds. Finally, the dice seem to be turning in his favour a little bit, just to keep some Intercessors alive. Didn't help him for the Land Raider or the Predator, but the Intercessors, that's where it counts. That's where your damage is going to come from, surely. Most powerful unit on the board, Intercessors.
It might be all that's left, yeah.
Okay, so at the end of the Eldar shooting phase, it's looking a bit bleak for the Ultramarines. As you can see, if I pan back, they're big tanks. Their 2 big heavies are gone. I didn't really expect that much damage, to be honest. I don't normally do that much damage to him. I got a little bit lucky. Marines are a tough entity. Primaris, the new favourite, they're quite tough themselves with 2 wounds each. There's no reason why they can't start working out how to counter offensive this. They're supposed to be tactical geniuses, aren't they, Ultramarines?
They are meant to be.
Tiggy at the helm, the captain down there. He did bring them onto the planet. They didn't need to come down here. He made the choice. Let's see if he made the right choice. We move on to Ultramarines. No, he don't. That's a lie.
You've got an assault.
I almost forgot the assault phase. And I mean, it would be rude not to charge these 3 into those
really
3 intercessors. Yeah. So the first thing we're going to do is declare a charge with the warlocks onto the intercessors. Yeah. The first one will be the warlock furthest from me because they're 2 separate models. So I'm assuming the intercessors would like to fire Overwatch.
I would love to fire.
Okay, so you've got rapid fire bolt guns, I assume, on the 3 of those.
Bolt rifles, rapid fire.
Yeah,
Yes.
bolt rifle, same. So 6 shots.
4, 6.
6 shots hitting on 6s.
Nothing helps.
Absolutely nada niente. That's a cox. You can reroll that one. I'll let you. Yep, still no help. That warlock makes it in.
Within range, I get to re-roll all of my.
Yeah, cool. No worries, mate. Yeah, of course, because he's a chapter master. He gets to reroll all failed to hit rolls. So he needs 6s.
Be more lucky.
No 6s. No more logos means no 6s.
No.
Yeah, that's a shame, isn't it?
It is a lot.
I thought you thought you were being clever there. Anyway,
I did.
I'm going to roll for the warlock's charge. He gets a big 12. Those are 6s he wanted. There they are, those 2. So there he is. He's moved round. Now the Farseer's going to charge. He gets 8. So he can go... Oh, I'm not even showing you. Look, how bad's that for filming? I will learn. And then finally this warlock here. Number 12. How rapid these guys are. He's going to move round to here. Yes, I know. So there we go. Those 3 are piled in. Would you like to heroically intervene with your lieutenant, lieutenant, whatever you want to call him?
Lieutenant, and yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Go on then. You can heroically intervene. You can move up to 3 inches in any direction as long as you end up closer to the enemy than you started. And actually you can make base contact there. So the lieutenant has heroically intervened into that warlock. I'm going to look up all the weapons and profiles and try and do this in one foul swoop rather than keep stopping and pausing for you. Let's move on to the Eldar fight phase in turn 1. So we're in the Eldar fight phase for turn 1. The Farseer, the warlord, he's gone brave. He's charged in. He wants some heads. Look at the blood on that sword. I didn't get there itself. He's ready to start killing some Ultramarines. They are making their way to that courier. The Farseer, the warlord, he's made it his goal, his mission to get in there himself and try and take that courier out. Why? Why is he so keen? Why is he so keen to protect this one piece of foliage and the barren land that is? Anyway, he has 2 attacks and 2 attacks only. I'm aware that means that he's actually quite rubbish, but he's got a decent weapon and a decent weapon skill, and you never know. So, as a seer, he hits on 2s. So he hit once. There we go.
Woo.
I can't do any rerolls because I've got 1 command point left that I'm not prepared to reroll that one for, and his warlord trait allows him 1 reroll that I used in the psychic phase. So. However, his Witchblade has the old sort of Fleshbane type rule. So, it wounds on 2s. So it wounds. So someone has got an armour save to make. 3+. Fails! Takes a wound. The Farseer takes a wound off someone. Who's losing the wound? Which of the 3 intercessors is going to die?
I'm going to take a reroll.
Going to reroll?
I'm going to reroll. I
So
haven't
one of
rerolled
your
yet.
2 final command points. So if you do this, if you use a command point to reroll this dice, you can't interrupt my combat.
Ooh.
You've still got 2 command points left. You could spend 2 command points and interrupt my combat and fight with someone else.
No, I'm going to do that.
Do that instead.
Yeah.
I thought you might.
Yeah.
So, are you doing that now?
I am going to do that now.
So he's putting a wound down. I've got wound dice, I just
Yeah.
can't be bothered to go and get them at the moment, I'll be honest. That sounds awful, doesn't it, for a new channel with a new battle report. We will get them, I will
We
find
like our
them.
dice.
We do
as
like
well,
our
so,
more dice. Available soon.
Cool.
Um,
So the lieutenant.
so you're going to spend 2
interrupt.
command points. So,
Yep.
so Mike's now out of command points, unless he rolls 2 5-ups to get his command points back as per his warlord trait. That's a cock die. There we go. So he gets
got
1 command point back.
Cool.
So he now interrupts. He's now going to choose to fight with his lieutenant
Lieutenant
into the warlock.
into the warlock. 4 attacks.
4 attacks, hitting on 2s or 3s?
Hitting on... I should know that.
You should know that.
I believe it's 2s. It is 2s. Weapon skill +2+.
So he hits with all 4 attacks.
That's what
His strength is 4, isn't it?
it is.
Toughness of a warlock biker is 4.
4s.
It is 4s. So that is
You're
4.
right.
4 wounds. 4 wounds. They're all AP -3. Of course, warlocks don't have armour. They have, well, they do actually, but predominantly they have an invulnerable save. 4 up invulnerable save. So I have 4 up invulnerable save to make. I make one of 4. Warlocks have 3 wounds.
I believe he's dead.
That warlock is absolutely splatted. The lieutenant comes charging in. He heroically intervenes and smushes his target. He's not messing around. His power sword cuts through that warlock. That warlock is no more. However, I have one final warlock who I can attack with. He has 2 attacks. He hits on 3s. Oh, you can't see that, but there's 2 hits. They are also the equivalent of flashbane, so he wins on 2s. 2 wounds, 2 3-up armour saves. You fail 1, you pass 1. However, because you saved that last command point of a 5+, you can use this one if you want to keep him alive.
I am going to.
There we go. I'm helping you out here.
Come on.
So on a 5, on a
3 up.
there's his reroll. So he
Yeah.
gets his armour save, so that Primaris Marine doesn't die.
And now to get my command point back.
On a 5+, he keeps that command point alive. Nope, he doesn't. So he's
Okay.
now all out of command points. I've got 1 left. He's got none left. Having no command points left at the end of turn 1, 1 left at the end of turn 1, is not great for me, I'll be honest. However, when you look at the damage that the Eldar have wrought, if you look at the targets the Simhan Force have taken down, the dead Land Raider, the dead Predator,
I'll fight back.
the Intercessors unit, oh, okay.
I'd like to fight back.
Oh, would you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought if I lost you in the narrative there, you'd forget.
No.
No, okay. I got excited.
You've done a lot of damage and I want to do a bit
Because
back.
he fought with his lieutenant, I got excited and thought we were all done. Of course, he's got 3 more Primaris Marines who can fight. So, who's fighting who? One can target the Warlock.
These
or
2 will fight into
him, yeah?
Farseer and he will target... We're going to put them all onto the Farseer.
Yeah, I thought you might, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Makes
we've got 3 models here. We've got the Sergeant and
Yeah.
2 Intercessors who have decided enough's enough.
Yeah.
Close quarters it is. They draw their combat blades to take on the Seer, zooming around through all the rubble.
Cool. So on 3s.
So that's a cocked
Cocked
die. Do you get re-rolls in the fight phase for your
I
Chapter
do.
Master? So it's 3 misses, but he gets 3 re-rolls because his Chapter Master's nearby.
Good.
That is all hits. All hits. So they are strength 4. My toughness is 4. You're wounding on 4s.
Rerolling 1s for the lieutenant.
Yeah, cool. So they all but 3 wounds. That's 4 wounds on the Seer. He's got 5 wounds. It's not enough to kill him. But he has got his 4+ invulnerable save. That's a better go. That's better than last time. The Seer takes no damage. He knew it was coming. He ducked and dodged. He dodged the bolt pistols. He dodged the combat blade swipes. He's alive, just. But he's in there and he's causing problems. And they're going to have to deal with him. Or they could ignore him. It's up to them. But that keeps him alive for another turn to do more smiting, more psychic-based shenanigans, to get inside their minds, to confuse them, control them. Let's move on to Ultramarines turn. Well, actually, I was going to do a summary, wasn't I, at the end of the last phase before I let you fight. So let's do it. Let's pan out and look at this battlefield. So Simhan have struck hard and fast. Actually, they've done better than I expected them to do. I think they probably did better than Mike expected them to do.
A lot better.
Yeah, taking down that Land Raider and that Predator on turn 1 was amazing. I've killed a couple of Intercessors. I've also killed 4 out of 5 Hellblasters. That's probably the most damage I've done to his Ultramarines force in any game we've played in the first turn. I'm hoping it doesn't make it a whitewash because I want this to be an interesting game for the channel. He has still got 10 Assault Marines in reserve, so it's not as bad as it looks on the table. Anyway, we'll see what he can do. With no command points left and all of his models out and about, we move on to Ultramarines turn 1. Right, Ultramarines turn 1. Mike has moved his Ultramarines, he's made some tactical decisions. He then spent so long deciding on the psychic powers, it's now Wednesday. Anyway, Mike, do you want to talk us through what you've done and why?
Okay, so we've got Redemptor Dread moving up around the side. I want to unleash some hurt over this sort of way. So I've got anti-fly stuff. big cannons and onslaught Gatling cannon to unload on these units around here. We haven't moved the Hellblaster. He's got a rapid fire weapon, so I could have, but actually he's in range of one I want to hit anyway. We've moved the intercessors up behind. That makes them within 12 inches of some of Liam's other units, so we can unload a bit of hurt there.
Yeah, it's getting quite cosy in there, isn't it?
It's very cosy in here. There's a lot of pistol fire coming off, so that's going well. Over the far side, we've got Assault Marines dropping in. You'll probably guess where they're going.
So the Assault Marines have dropped in here. There is an Eviscerator in that squad. He is a sergeant, even though the guy's got the red helmet. And over here is my courier. So this is where they're coming, I would imagine, at a guess.
They are likely to come that way. So that's
now,
it.
Here is a minor point of contention that we've been chatting about for a little while. Actually, this is part of the reason why it took a little bit longer than we hoped. These multi-melt devs here, they obviously were blown out of their Land Raider in my shooting phase. We've read the rules for disembarking. Now, we don't think they're all that clear. We're not sure whether disembarking in my shooting phase counts as him moving in his movement phase. So obviously the rules of disembarking state that if you disembark, even if you don't move any further, you still count as moving for all rules purposes. However, it's a little bit unclear as to what happens if you disembark in my phase, in my shooting phase, as to whether he counts as moving in his phase because he has disembarked. We weren't sure. We rolled for it off camera. It went Mike's way. If we're wrong, please let us know in the comments below. As per the rest of this video, if there are any other rules, mistakes, issues, problems, then please let us know in the comments below, because it's the only way we'll learn and we'll get better and we can work out where we're going wrong. Because actually, as the first game I've ever filmed, this is a lot harder than I expect it to be. I'm enjoying it. I think it's great fun. I love it. I think it looks amazing. However, it is quite hard actually filming and remembering all your rules. So fair play to those guys who do it week in, week out, because it's not the easiest thing in the world. However, if you guys keep picking us up on these rules and give us some friendly comments below and let us know where we went wrong, then we will obviously endeavour to make sure we don't get them wrong again in the future. But then we'll probably get different rules wrong anyway. So yeah, please let us know in the comments below rules, mistakes. Obviously, if there's tactical things we do that you don't agree with, then feel free to drop comments in there as well, because we could learn from that. Just, don't be nasty. Anyway. Yeah, so we have rolled the dice, like I say, it went in his favour, so we are playing it, that they don't count as having moved, and therefore these four wonderful Devastators here, who are in range of that fire prism, are going to be able to fire at full ballistic skill, which is quite nice for him. Anyway, because he spent 6.5 days getting his psychic powers ready, we now can, I hope, he's nodding, so it means it's good, roll straight into the Ultramarine Psychic phase. Obviously, this battlefield is littered with psychic presence. There are Eldar Psychics everywhere. However, Targaryen is not a Psyker to be taken lightly. He is tapped into the warp. He is in the skin. He's going to try and cast some powers alongside his young apprentice, who's down here with the Devastators. So, Michael, the Psychic phase, what are we going to do first?
So we're going to start over here with the devs, Libby. So we're going to start with Smite. We're going to smite your Prism.
Okay.
Prism. So we need a 5. Okay. We're not going to get it.
So you get a 4, and you've got no command points left.
We've got no command points
So
left.
Smite does not go off.
So we're going to hope for a bit more luck when we do Might of Heroes from him. We're going to do Might of Heroes on the Lieutenant. He's 12 inches away.
Yeah, we have measured this off camera. Obviously, he is 12 inches.
We're after 6. We get it.
He gets it on an 8. Let me check how many psychic powers my seer can deny. Okay, so even though he got all his powers ready and took ages, I failed to look at my own rules, which is ridiculous. Anyway, the Warlock over here is within 24 inches of the Librarian. I found out that the Warlock can deny 1 and the Seer can deny 2. Now, Mike can only cast 3 in total, I think, can't you?
Now. Yeah,
what left?
Yeah, I missed Smite, so now I've got
this
and 2 more.
Targaryen can cast 2, and obviously you've got cast 1 here, and you failed 1, so you've got 3 powers in total, including the one you've just cast. So I can attempt to deny all 3 of these. So I'm going to use the Warlocks to deny this one, because I'm not that bothered by it, and he will deny on higher than an 8. No, he doesn't deny. So that power goes off. You have Might of Heroes on the Lieutenant inside that big ruckus over there. Yep. What's next? I think we move on to Tigerius, don't we?
Yeah,
Tigerius,
we do.
Or whatever you want to call him.
So we are going to do Might of Heroes again,
okay,
because we can.
So Tiggy, who is here, is casting Might of Heroes on
Redemptor.
The Redemptor Dread. This will bring the Redemptor up to toughness 8. He wants to keep his big heavy alive a little bit longer, because the other two didn't last very long.
Okay, so 6 again.
So he gets it on a flat 6. The Seer is going to try and deny this one. He just needs more than 6. That's not going to help him at all. I can re-roll. I'm not going to because I think I know what's coming next. So what's your final psychic power that Tigarius is going to cast?
Null Zone.
Null Zone. I thought it might be Null Zone. I knew he's got Null Zone, and these two only really are alive because they're a vulnerable save. Of course, if Tiggy gets this off, Null Zone gives him a bubble whereby people lose their invulnerable saves, including those two models right inside there. So let's see what happens.
I need an 8, and I can re-roll.
So he gets a 5. You have to re-roll both, don't you?
I have to re-roll both.
So far he's not got Null Zone.
Come on.
That's some furious... double 6s means you get it, but you also perils. So I'm going to try and stop it. I don't, but I can re-roll with Runes of the Farseer. Yeah, I don't. I got 1 6 as I won, but I didn't get the other. So he does get Null Zone, but he also suffers D3 mortal wounds. For 3, Tiggy is down to 2 or 3 mortal wounds. 2 or 3 mortal wounds? 2 or 3 wounds, I believe. 1. He's only got 4.
Tiggy has 4.
Oh dear. So I'm pretty sure we did that right. I'm going to double check in a minute when we sort some shooting out. But yeah, it looks like Tiggy is now down to 1. He got Null Zone off, so the likelihood is he's going to be able to kill that Warlock and kill that Warlord, which is probably worth suffering the 3 mortal wounds.
I'm okay
He's
with
basically sacrificed himself for the greater good. He's like Tau, but in Ultramarine armour.
Which makes him better.
Yeah.
No, that makes him better.
Sacrificed himself for the greater good. So Tiggy has got quite the migraine now. Anyway, Mike's going to work out what he's going to do for the Ultramarine shooting phase, and then we'll come right back. Right, okay, we're on to the Ultramarines shooting phase. Mike tells me he's happy with what he's shooting and when. So where would you like to start, Mike?
So I want to start in the big middle.
So in the middle here, we've got the Seer, the Warlord, alongside the Warlock, and a lot of Primaris Marines who are ready to end their lives. Null Zone's off. They have no invulnerable save. They are relying on their 4-up armour save. And the Seer also has Fortune, remember?
Yes.
Yes.
So we were going to start with the pistols of the guys in combat. So the Intercessors in combat. So they're hitting on 3s.
Yep.
3 pistols.
So this is into the Warlord, isn't it?
Into the Warlord.
Because he's the nearest. So to fire into combat, you have to shoot at the nearest with your pistols. So 2 hits.
Re-rolling
for the Chapter Master.
Ooh, it's gone off.
4, so it's 3 hits in total.
3 hits.
So you have 3 hits on the Seer.
Strength 4.
Toughness is 4, so it's force to wound.
Re-rolling a 1 for the Lieutenant.
Yes. So 1 wound on the Seer. So he has 1 4-up armour save. Which he passes. Look at that more. It's beautiful when you see that, don't you think? Look at that.
Particularly.
Anyway.
So next up, Lieutenant.
The Lieutenant, he also has a pistol. He's shooting at the Seer because he's got to shoot at the nearest. He hits on a 5. Strength 4, toughness 4 again. Force to wound. He wounds on a 4. We have another 4-up armour save to make. Which we make on a 4. It's going well. Not for you. For me.
Tigarius.
He has a pistol, so he has to shoot at the nearest also, which is the Warlock.
3s. Re-rolling failed.
For the Chapter Master.
4.
So I thought Tiggy hit on 2s, but okay, 4.
No.
Cool.
I have it open.
Yeah.
So, wounding on 4s. Ooh, and it's off with a more.
And he wounds the Warlock. The Warlock has a 4-up armour save like the Seer. Which he makes. Look at this.
Okay. That's disappointing, but we're okay with it.
This mini council does not want to die. It's not their time to die.
Chapter Master is firing into the combat with his 3 shots.
So his counts as a Bolt Storm Gauntlet, which counts as a pistol, so he gets to fire.
3 shots, hitting on 2s.
So he hits all 3 times. This is the Warlock, because he's got to shoot the nearest.
Yeah.
Strength is
4.
Force to wound.
Rerolling the 1, unfortunately.
We
got 1.
Wound. Am I right in thinking this is AP -1 or is it AP?
No, it's standard.
Okay, so we have a normal 4-up armour save. Which we make, look at that!
Oh,
so there's no wounds at all in that squad.
That's okay.
Into that squad, they're not squads. There are no wounds on the Seer or the Warlock, they both survived. They're foresight, meaning they're dodging these bullets that are winging past their heads. What's next, mate?
We are going to do the Intercessors, and we're not going to fire their pistols into combat because that has obviously not worked very well. So we're going to fire their rapid fire bolt rifles over their heads and into the squad behind.
So we have their bolt rifles, which are rapid firing.
Yep.
So they're normal bolt rifles, as in they're the same as bolt guns, except for they get a -1 to the AP.
So three to hit. Rerolling fails, which we don't.
Don't worry about that because you haven't failed.
Okay.
Okay, so they all hit. That's some good
Yep.
shooting there.
Strength 4, toughness 4.
Yeah, toughness 4, so 4 to wound. So you tell me how many there are.
2, 4, 6.
So we have 6 armour saves. Now, obviously they're -1 to my armour save, which would make my 4 up a 5 up. However, they are also on cover, so their 5 up becomes a 4 up again.
Yep.
We saved 2, we lost 4. That means that 2 bikes are dead.
Next up, the Ancient is going to fire up at the same squad.
So the Ancient, the one we're after, the guy with the banner, he
He's
decides
got
to
a
lay
rapid-
his banner down and pull the trigger.
He's got a rapid fire bolt rifle as well. I would love to know what he's hitting on, so we're going to hope to roll high. We'll be re-rolling that one anyway.
Yeah, okay.
We'll go for 2s, and I don't think he'll
I
be
think
2s.
he's hit once, isn't he? I think Ancient's hit on 3s, I'm pretty sure.
So as well.
Look at him, we can watch him frantically flicking through his book, not knowing his pages, doesn't use tabs or anything.
No,
Yeah.
and he does hit on 3s.
Yeah, okay, so he's hit
So-
once.
Yep. Winning on 4s.
Winning on 4s. AP -1 again.
Yep.
So I only have a 4 up save because I'm in cover. And he makes it, so he's okay.
Okay. Next up, we are going to move across to the Redemptor.
So we're going to go for the Redemptor now, yeah?
Yep.
What's shooting at what?
Ooh, so it's going to fire the Gatling cannon at this squad of bikers.
Yep.
It's going to fire the macroplasma at the Night Spinner.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to fire its Icarus rocket pod at the lone guy
Up here?
up here, if it's 12 inches.
Yeah, he's 12.
And then we've got his bolt
Storm bolters?
storm bolters on the front. And they're going to go into this squad over here as well.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So which weapons first?
We are going with the macroplasma.
Macroplasma firing into the Night Spinner. This is his big gun. This is the one that normally really lets Mike down.
We are going to overcharge it.
Oh, overcharging.
Yeah, because we are within range of the chapter master, and we want the 2 damage.
Yeah, we do. Okay.
So, D6.
I want to see this do
Shots.
well because so far I've not seen it do anything. That's cocked.
So
5 shots. That's good. So 5 rolls to hit. Now it is a heavy weapon and he has moved. So his 3 up becomes a 4 up. However, the chapter master will allow him to reroll natural misses. So the cocked die he can roll again anyway. So he hits with 4 of the 5, but the 1 is a natural miss. Therefore, the chapter master allows him to reroll. And the 3 is normally a hit, but because he's a heavy, it moves to a 2 and it counts as a miss. So 4 hits the macroplasma, which still isn't bad. Overcharged, it's strength
9.
8. Strength 9. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's strength 9 overcharged. The Night Spinner's toughness 7, so you're wounding on 3s.
Yeah.
So you wound twice.
No, rerolling nothing because he's outside of range.
Is he? What's the range of it? 6?
6.
Yeah, so you've wounded twice. AP is -4, so I don't get an armour save, and it's 2 damage each.
2 damage
4
each.
damage in total. Now, at the beginning of the game, I did state that I'd put Spirit Stones on all my vehicles. However, because what happened with his Predator and the Land Raider, I'm choosing to ignore the Spirit Stones that are 40 points to bring it down closer to your point level, because otherwise it's going to be a bit ridiculous. So I'm not going to take those saves. He suffers 4 wounds. That puts him down to 8 wounds in total on that Night Spinner. So he hasn't done badly, but he's still got more weapons to fire. What's next, mate?
6 shots from the heavy onslaught. No, the normal onslaught cannon.
So the normal
into
onslaught
troops.
Gatling cannon, which you can see underneath his fist there,
Yep.
is firing across into those jet bikes.
Okay.
So
4s.
4's to hit. The 3 is
It's
a
a
natural
natural
hit. Therefore, he can't re-roll it, even though it now counts as a miss. But he still hit 5 times, so it's not bad.
No. And it is strength 5.
Strength 5, so it's 3's to wound. So he's wounded with every single dice. There's 5 dice there, 5 wounds. How many?
At -1.
-1. So they're normally a 4 up armour save over there. They now become a 5 plus. So let's watch 5 pluses.
1.
No, 1. So that's 2 bikers now dead. The squad is down to 1 bike remaining.
Okay.
I'll remove those in a minute for
That's
you
fine,
guys.
because we're now going to fire the Storm Bolters.
Storm Bolters at the same unit, aren't they?
Yeah. Rapid fire 2. So 4 shots. Coming over.
Rapid fire 2.
Rapid fire 2.
He's within 12.
Yeah.
So that rapid fire 2 means that the range is 24 inches.
Yeah.
So within 12 they get 4 shots.
Yeah.
I thought we said there's 2 Storm Bolters.
There is. We're going to get 8 shots.
Yeah, there we go.
Definitely. Well said.
Maths.
This is
right, cool.
This is a good game. So 4s.
4s to hit. So the 3s are natural hits, so you can't re-roll those. However, the 1s and 2s you can re-roll because the Chapter Master's nearby. He gets another hit. That's enough. It is enough. However, their strength 4, the bikers over there are toughness 4.
No AP. Minus. And that was that one.
So a single wound. So he can't kill him, but he can wound him. So on a 4-up. I think that counts. Nope. No. Oh, good. Reroll. Yeah! He does not take a wound, so I still have the single bite remaining at full health. What's next, bud?
So D3 shots from the Icarus rocket pod.
This is the thing on top of him, isn't it? That's shooting at the single bike up the top up here.
Yeah. D3 shots for 1.
Where's that gone? Oh, there it is. It's right in front of me. So 1 single shot. No command points left. Can't reroll.
No.
Huh? He gets +1 to hit, however, because he's targeting the unit with the fly keyword.
So 3s to hit. Re-rolling. Yes.
2 and 3. Yeah, I think we'll give you that one as a natural miss. There we go. So he does hit. Strength?
7.
7. Strength 7. Toughness is 4, so it's 3s to wound. Doesn't wound.
Nothing.
No, you can't re-roll that. You're not in range. You're lieutenant.
Okay. So we're going to do the solo Sergeant Hellblaster.
Oh, we're still going. Cool.
We're still going. And
so the
he's going to
Hellblaster,
fire
who's he firing at?
the Night Spinner.
He's firing at the Night Spinner already.
Yeah.
He's already lost 4 wounds.
He's rapid fire.
Is he overcharging?
He is overcharging.
So he's rapid fire and
Obviously.
overcharging. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I do.
Yeah, makes sense because that means you're winning on 3s rather than 4s.
Damn straight.
So he's hitting on 3s.
Yes.
So he hits twice. Good arrows. Right. Yeah. He's now strength 8 because he's overcharged, which means he gets to wound on 3s. Once. He probably is within 6 inches. Are we checking?
I'm double checking.
I think
I'm
he is.
nice.
Yeah. Okay, so he gets to reroll his 1
Come
to wound because
on.
he's within 6 inches of the lieutenant. There we go.
Yeah.
There is 2 wounds there. It's -4 AP. So I do not get a save.
Again.
And 2 damage apiece.
2 damage apiece.
So there are 4 wounds lost.
Good.
So I've now lost 8 wounds of my 12. I'm down to 4 wounds remaining.
Cool.
Nasty. Okay, good. So that Night Spinner is now quite hurt, quite nerfed. He's not as good as he used to be. However, he's not dead. So he could still do some sort of damage. Now, remaining, we've got 2 squads. We've got the Devastators down here and the Assault Marines over there. What's next, mate?
We're going for the Devastators.
So we've got the Devastators.
Yeah.
4 multi-melters down here with a librarian and a
multi-melters.
sergeant, and don't forget your Morium Cherub. I don't know if I said that right, who knows. They're
Yeah.
firing over here at the fire prism.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to, first of all, we're going to fire a bolt rifle, or a bolt gun, because we haven't got something that's off of the sergeant.
So sergeant's firing his bolt gun.
Let's just specify first, Signum is on this guy at the front.
Okay.
So he's got an add 1 to his hit roll. Which
So the
is,
bolt gun from the sergeant shooting at the fire prism still?
Yes. Oh, 12
I don't think
inches.
he's in range of anything else.
No,
is
I
he?
think he's not. So it's 12 inches range
Yeah,
because of
cool.
the night, the darkness
So
of
the
the night.
sergeant here firing at that fire prism. Go on then.
So 3s. Nope.
He didn't do so well.
He did not do well.
You don't want that to happen for your multi-melters. Right, so you've got 4 multi-melters, 1 with a Signum.
Yeah.
So 3 should roll first.
Yeah.
And then 1 separately. So the first 3 are hitting on 3s, I believe.
They are hitting on 3s.
Remember, we're playing it that he didn't count as moving. That's more like it. That's 3 hits. The next one, he hits on 2s.
He hits on 2s.
4 hits from the multi-melters. This could spell doom for this fire prism.
Don't actually know the strength.
Strength of the multi-melter is 8. Toughness of the fire prism is 7. So it's 3s to wound.
That's what we got. Okay.
So there's 2 wounds there. What does the Miriam Cherub let you do?
Lets me fire another one.
Fire another one.
Yeah.
You might as well do that now, I would.
After a unit is fired, I can then fire it again. I'm going to fire the one that has got the signal.
After he's fired.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So do you want? Should we resolve this damage first?
If you'd like to.
Yeah, minus 4 AP.
Yeah.
So I don't get an armor save. So for each one you've hit with, because you're within half range, you roll 2d6 damage and pick the highest. So the first one at 2d6 is 3 damage. The second one at 2d6 is 6 damage. So it's 9 wounds gone, which puts me down to 3 wounds remaining. So I'm suggesting you probably want to fire one of those Mighty Miles again using the Memoriam Cherub.
I'm going to.
Yeah, cool. So the Signum guy's going to fire a second time. Oh, he hits on a 4. He needs a 3 to wound.
He does.
He wounds on the Moor logo. There is no armor save. So if you don't roll anything, if you don't roll a 1 or a 2, you're okay. It is destroyed. Should we see if it blows up?
Yeah.
So on a 6, it blows up. If you see that logo, some of my stuff might start to die.
Please die.
Nope, does not blow up. The fire prism is destroyed. That is the barren land where the fire prism once sat. It's gone. Blew up. Mighty Mountain Devastators did exactly what they were intended to do. That tank is no more. They're quite the threat, actually. We need to start thinking about trying to take them out. You know, I was more worried about all the Hellblaster stuff over here and taking down the tanks and the devs. When they got out, I wasn't that worried, but they were quite effective. Anyway, the final thing in Bronze Army to shoot is the 5 Assault Marines over here. So one of them has an Eviscerator, a Sergeant, which means the other 4 have pistols. The pistols are going to fire into the scatterbikes over here. This is obviously the personal bodyguard of my courier. What secret weapon he's holding, we don't know, but they're after it, they want it, and they're about to open fire. So, 4 bolt pistols, Mike. 3 to hit. So all 4 hit. Strength 4, toughness 4, force to wound. Only 1 wound, thank God. So I have a 4-up armor save, which I pass. So they don't do any damage at all. But I fear that's not the Assault Marines finished.
No.
I think they may be declaring a charge. Will I be right?
They are. Should we do that now?
If you're ready to.
I'm ready to, because the Assault Marines are...
So I'm guessing they're going to declare a charge on the scatterbikes nearest to them.
They are.
So I get to fire Overwatch. I get 12 shots, hitting on 6s. 1 in that Moor logo right there.
Still good for you.
It's better than nothing, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Better than my Overwatch.
Strength 6, I wound on 3s. I wound AP nothing, so 1 3-up save, and Assault Marine dies.
Okay.
So they kill Assault Marine in
be
Overwatch. Would you like to roll for your charge range and get less than 9? That'll do. Thank you very much. They fail. Are there any more further assaults in here in this melee?
Definitely.
Who's going to charge what?
So we are going to be charging the Lieutenant in, and we're going to charge the Chapter Master in.
Okay, well the Lieutenant's going to make it exactly where you want him to go unless you're pretending to run him around the other side.
No.
So you might as well plough him in. The Captain, any
Is
particular
within...
preference? No, so they're both only going to go nearest to nearest. They're not interested in running around the other side for any sort of advantage, so he doesn't need to roll. So we're going to move those in and then we'll get ready to do the fight phase. Okay, so the fight worsens for the Eldar. The Captain, Chapter Master, not Captain, he's the Chapter Master now. And the Lieutenant have charged in, swords swinging, gauntlets swinging. They don't want this Warlord alive, they want him to die. They want the Warlocks to die. They need to free the centre of this board up so they can push on and chase down my courier. Because currently they're being held up by 2 psychic space elves, which probably is a little bit embarrassing for the Primaris Ultramarines.
Yeah, they're not feeling it.
Yeah, so I think you said first the Chapter Master's going to fight.
Yeah.
You've chosen to use his gauntlet.
Yes.
Is that right?
Lead from the front.
So his big power gauntlet times 2 strength, AP minus lots, AP minus 3 and D3 damage. Does it suffer any negative?
-1 to hit.
So he's -1 to hit. However, because he's a Chapter Master, he hits on 2s, so it's only 3, so it's not that bad. Anyway, 5 attacks. So he hit with 4 out of the 5. I think that's not too bad. You don't get to re-roll because it's a natural hit.
Yeah.
So that's 4 hits out of 5. His strength is now strength good. 8, I think.
Strength 8, yeah.
Strength 8. My toughness is 4, so he's wounding me on 2s.
Re-rolling the 1.
So he has wounded me on 2s. I'm guessing you're punching the Warlock in the face.
That is why it's the only one I can.
The Warlock has no armour save because it's AP minus 3.
Yep.
He has no invulnerable save because Null Zone's on. And he only has 3 wounds.
And I've got D3 wounds 4 times.
Yeah, so he's dead. But I'm okay with that because that means that he hasn't hit my Warlord, who's still in there, fighting away, hacking and slashing. Anyway, the Chapter Master charged, so he got to fight first, obviously, because he can activate charging models first. So did the Lieutenant, so the Lieutenant now gets to fight.
Yep,
he has 4 attacks with a power sword. So he hits on 2s. So he hits 3 times. However, the Chapter Master's nearby, so he gets to reroll the miss. So he hits 4 times. However, he's only strength 4, isn't he?
Yeah.
You didn't get...
I did.
You did get. So does it not make him stronger?
It does.
Strength, so Might of Heroes was casted in from the Librarian down here in the Psychic phase. That makes him strength 5, which means he now wounds on 3s, not on 4s, which is good.
Very good.
Very, very good.
What's even better is he's actually got 1 more attack.
You better roll to hit then, haven't you? Quickly.
Better roll to hit.
And which he hits with. Yay. So how many have you got in your hand?
5.
Seer's got 5 wounds. Just saying. Just saying. Put the pressure on now because then he'll fail to wound all of them.
And 3s.
Like that.
That is probably cocked, so I'm going to re-roll it.
Yeah, cool. So he wounds 3 times. The sword is -3.
It is.
So I don't get an armor save. My my invulnerable save has gone through null zone, so I don't get an armor save. However, the Seer did cast Fortune on himself, so he has 3 5-up Fortune saves.
Of course he does.
And he fails all 3, so he's down to 2 wounds remaining. Actually, it might be 3 wounds remaining. I have to double check that. It might be that he's got 6 wounds on a bike. So we'll find out if he gets killed.
So next up is the Intercessors.
So the Intercessors have just got their combat knives out ready to try and take the last few wounds off this Seer. He's now wounded.
So 3s. Rerolling.
So you reroll your fail to hits because the Chapter Master's nearby.
Yeah.
So you hit with everything. The Seer could be in trouble here.
Strength 4.
Toughness 4.
Rerolling 1s. There's not a lot of 1s.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wounds on the Seer. 5 4-up armor saves, followed by 5-up fortune saves. So we save 4 of the armor saves. So he won't die, and we've got a 5-up fortune save. Nope. So he loses another wound. So he's lost 4 in total. So he's either down to 1 or 2, and I will find out. That's that done, I think, isn't it?
That is me dead.
So my Seer gets to fight back.
So attacks.
I'm going to target the Primaris Marines only because one's already wounded and I'm more likely to kill one of those.
Yeah.
So I hit on 2s. So I hit twice. His Witchblade allows me to wound on 2s. So I wound once. So you get a 3-up armor save, and if you fail it, a Primaris Marine dies because it's 1-on-1 wound. No! You do! A Primaris Marine has just died. He is slaughtered. The blade cuts again. That's the end of the fight phase. Obviously, I'm a single model, so I can't fail my leadership. And I'm either down to 1 or 2 wounds. I will find out, and I will let you guys know. Okay, so we've just checked. Farseer Skyrunners have 6 wounds, so he's down to 2. That's the end of turn 1 for the Ultramarines. I'm aware that this has been a very long turn. Like I said, we're learning. It's the first time we've done this. But we're going to move on to Eldar turn 2. We don't think there's much left to do, really, on Eldar turn 2. However, both couriers are alive, and both are on full wounds, so... hey-ho, you never know. This could last longer than we expect. Let's move on to Eldar turn 2. Back again, I will start turn 2 soon. What I forgot to do was leadership check. So although they're 3-man squads, because they both lost 2 models, they both suffer a leadership check. On a 6, the bike unit, the remaining biker will flee or be cut down by his own warlord. Let's see. So the unit up on the hill on a 6, he's okay. The unit over the back on a 6, he's dead. He's gone. He's fled the battlefield. He's decided to go and protect himself over there. Cowardly little space elf. Yeah, I lied. We're not going to move straight on to Eldar turn 2. Why? Because we've got the twist. The twist, which means that if I roll a dice on a 4+, we can gain 6 inches of range. Actually, probably quite helpful because I don't see that Seer lasting much longer. So I might want to start pulling stuff back to keep him at arm's length. So on a 4+. Oh no, so it stays 12 inches of range. We're going to keep this close quarters fight going. The night stays dark. But now we move on to Eldar turn 2. Okay, so Eldar turn 2 movement complete. It was quite quick. I didn't mess around. So the 3 Shuriken Cannon jet bikes have pushed up on the right hand flank, puts them within 12 inches of this unit. As you can tell with the twist I think we've got on, that makes them in range because they've only got 12-inch range at the moment, as is everything else on the board. This big blob here protecting my courier, they moved up. I don't want to be messing around with eviscerators over there, so I decided we would come and kill these devastators because their multi-melters proved to be quite nasty. Try to kill, we should say, just in case. The Night Spinner jumped to full 16 inches over here because it doesn't need line of sight, so it can fire over the top of this mountain and start hitting things over here. Of course, if it doesn't target the nearest, which it will, because there's a Primaris Marine over there, then it suffers -1 to hit. But because it has got crystal target matrix and the Primaris Marine sat right there, he should be okay. This Night Spinner hasn't moved, so it doesn't matter who he shoots at, he'll shoot at full ballistic skill. This biker up here, sat up on top of this mountain, he hasn't moved because it gives him a cover save. Finally, my two flyers have crossed paths, so the Hemlock turned right and has ploughed forward towards that Redemptor Dreadnought, because why wouldn't I want to kill another one of his heavy support choices? And the Crimson Hunter pivoted and flew over here, because that's about all I could do, because I want to still take some shots at the units down here to try and whittle these forces down and get to his courier. Anyway, we're going to move on to the Eldar Psychic phase. So, first things first, we're going to cast Smite from the Hemlock over here, because I forgot to last time and I don't want to do that again. The nearest unit is a squad of Intercessors down by his feet. So, 2d6. I dropped that one, you can hear it. So we've got it with 7. So Mike, would you like to try and deny with Tiggy?
I will try and deny, but not with Tiggy. I'm going to do it with the Chapter Master.
Okay.
And
He fails, so he does D3 mortal wounds for 2. So he kills an Intercessor.
Cool.
At the base of that flyer. Who's going to die? Show me who's going to die. It makes me feel happy.
This one.
Cool, right, okay. So next, we're going to come over here to the Farseer. This is probably why he was saving Tiggy's denies. So the first thing we're going to do is cast Fortune on himself. Warp charge value of 7. He doesn't get it. However, with Runes of the Farseer, I can choose to reroll any number of dice. I'm going to choose to reroll both. So he gets a 6, so he doesn't get it. So Fortune does not go off. He's not fortuned, which could put him in a lot of trouble. However, what he is going to do now, he's going to smite, and he's going to smite the Lieutenant right in front of him. So he gets that on 8, and I'm assuming this is what Tiggy was waiting to try and deny.
Tiggy is going to try and deny this.
So Tiggy gets a 9, which becomes a 10 because he gets +1. Smite is denied. That Warlord, that wounded Warlord, clearly his presence in the warp isn't as strong as it used to be. He got no psychic powers off. So we'll come over here to this seer and these Warlocks. The Warlocks are going to cast Jinx on the Devastators. It's a warp charge value of 7. They don't get it. They get a 1 and a 5. So that's only 6. I have a command point left. I'm not going to spend it to reroll that. So next we move on to the other Farseer, the Relic Bearer, the Courier, carrying that arcane weapon the Ultramarines are so desperate to get their hands on. He's going to cast Smite onto the Devastators. So he gets it on 8, but there is a Librarian here who can deny with his Psychic Hood. But he gets 6, so he doesn't deny, and tries to wreck my flyer at the same time.
Yeah.
So the Smite goes off for D3 mortal wounds. For 2. So 2 Devastators in that squad die. Finally, he will cast Mind War. Mind War is going to be cast on the Librarian. So 2d6. He gets it with 8. Mind War is a warp charge value of 7.
So I'm going to deny with Tiggy. He's in 24 inches, but he's not within 12, so he doesn't get +1. He doesn't.
Fails. So we each roll a dice and add our respective leaderships. You beat me, so nothing happens.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the end of that psychic phase. We'll now move on to the Eldar shooting phase. You'll notice I'm getting a little bit better at this. I'm just going to roll straight into it because no messing around. So first things first, we're going to fire the scatter lasers from this squad here, this one right here, into these Devastators because basically, so far, running Simon, I've not managed to fire my scatter lasers at full ballistic skill. I want an excuse to do it. That's why we're going to do it now. Because normally they die before they get a chance. So, scatter lasers are strength 6, AP minus nothing. What's up? Yeah, I know. Look at him already bossing me around. It didn't take long. Anyway, scatter lasers are strength 6, AP minus nothing. Because they're Simon, even though they're heavy weapons, they can move and fire at full ballistic skill. So, they hit on 3s. We missed with 3 of those dice, which isn't too bad. I'll take that. That's quite good. Anyway, being strength 6 means we wound on 3s. Not so great. So there is 5 wounds there. So 5 3-up armor saves on the Devastators. So 1 more dice. The second unit of Scatterbikes is going to fire at the back of that squad in the hope that we can wipe out the remainder of those devs and we can focus a shuriken weapon on the Librarian. So, hitting on 3s. Okay, so not too bad. 1 miss. They were kind there. Wounding on 3s. Much better. There is that many. There is 7 3-up armor saves on the remaining 2 Devastators.
It's going to be fine.
Nope. 1 more dies. 1 dev dies. This is upsetting. So, the Farseer, the Courier, he's going to open up with his Shuriken Catapult. Hitting on 3s. 2, sorry, because he's a Farseer. Not that he needed it. Very well there. Wounding on 4s. So there's 3 wounds there. And that remaining Devastator.
He's going to be a tough boss. Come on. No, he's not.
It died, and I didn't declare I was launching the Singing Spear, so I don't get to fire that. But it's okay, because the Warlocks will now open up with their Shuriken Catapults on the Librarian. So they hit on 3s. Ooh. They hit with a few. They missed with more. See what I did there? More, missed with more. Wound on 4s. Yeah. So they wound once. 1 armor save for the Librarian.
He's fine.
He saves it. However, we now have the Shuriken Cannons. Look at me showing you picking up my dice. That's how professional I am. So Shuriken Cannons from these 3 bikes here into the Librarian. Hitting on... Actually, let's wait. I don't think they're still in range. Okay, so his nose, the tip of his nose is just in range of the Librarian. I'm going to count it from base because that's what I normally count it from. So those 3 bikes, because I killed all the Devastators, are now no longer in range of the Librarian, which is a problem because although he's right there in the open for the Crimson Hunter, he's not the nearest model, so I can't target him. So he's going to get away with this, unless I choose to charge him, in which case he might not be so lucky, but that may leave my courier exposed. Some choices to make. Anyway, let's move on. So, over here, the Crimson Hunter is going to fire at the Intercessors down here. I believe that's what they are, the guy with the blonde hair, the 3 blokes there, that's the Intercessors. So he's going to fire his weapons at the Intercessors.
The 11th squad.
The first 2 is the Pulse Laser, hitting on 3s. That's a cocked die and a hit. So it's 2 hits. 2 hits from the Pulse Laser. Strength 8 means it wounds on 2s. So 2 wounds. It's AP -3, so they get 6-up saves. But it is a flat 3 damage each, so 2 Intercessors die. And I have just realised, when you remove your 2 models, one thing you haven't been doing. You've not been rolling to see if they can shoot again when they die.
I haven't.
No.
That is a very good point.
Do you want to roll for those 2 now?
I would like to roll for those 2.
I probably would, yeah. So on 4 pluses, because of the Ancient, they get to fight again. And if you were going to roll like that the whole time, then it wouldn't make any difference. Anyway, we're going to fire the Bright Lancers at the same squad. So 2 hits hitting on 3s. 2 shots hitting on 3s, sorry, 1 hits. Strength is 8, so it's 2s to wound. 2s to wound, AP -4 and D6 damage. That's 4 damage when another Intercessor dies. And he gets to roll to see if he can shoot on the turn he dies? At the moment he dies.
It does.
So he gets a 5, so he actually gets to fire before he dies. No?
Yeah, no.
Just come back, he just gets to fire.
But he gets to fire, rapid fire.
What's he shooting at?
He is going to be shooting up at the guy who was eluding him last time.
Shoot up at that one biker and try and take him out as his final act of heroism. So he hits twice. That's good.
Wounding on 4s.
He wounds once. I have a 4-up save. Yep, fine. So he was as good as he was in life.
And he's now dead.
Yeah, now he's dead. Right, cool. Yeah. So that shooting has been completed. This one single bike up here, this guy up here with his scatter laser? No, he hasn't got a scatter laser. His Shuriken Catapult is going to shoot down at that final Hell Blaster. One final defiant act before he thinks about fleeing. He hits on 3s. He hits 3 times. It's enough. It's enough. He wounds on 4s and 6s at AP -3. 1 wound, 1 AP -3. So if you can take that armor save first, you pass, and then take your 6-up save second, and when you fail. So he loses a wound. Not quite enough, but he does lose a wound. However, it makes my Night Spinner choice a little bit easier. So, the Night Spinner that can see him over there, the one at the far, that one right there over there at the back, he's going to fire his Shuriken Catapult into the Hellblaster. He's going to fire his Night Spinner weapon into the Redemptor Dread.
Okay.
So, his Shuriken Catapult, much like the bikes, is 4 shots, hitting on 3s. So he hits 3 times, wounding on 4s. Wounds once, and does an AP -3 once. Do you want to do your normal armor save first, just to prolong the process?
Yep.
He survives and he 6 up. He is dead. The Hellblaster dies. Is he within 6 inches of the banner bearer?
We
To
believe
see
so.
if he gets to shoot again.
We believe so, and he is. Woo! Come on. 4+. Yeah.
Actually, wait one. Okay, so I'm back. I forgot that Night Spinner got absolutely hammered in the last shooting phase from the Ultramarines. He's down to 4 wounds. He doesn't hit on 3s, he hits on 4s. So I wounded you twice. I hit you 3 times, which should have been twice. I wounded you twice, which probably should have been once. So we're not going to count him as having died. Unless you particularly want to do the die and fire. No, okay, so we'll count him as being alive, because it's fairer that way, rather than rolling it all again. And we'll move on to the Night Spinner's turret weapon, which is a heavy 2d6 weapon. For 7 shots, which isn't too bad. So he hits on 3s because he didn't move. Well, that's a cocked die. So I missed twice. So I've hit you 5 times. My strength is 7. Your toughness is 8 because of Might of Heroes. I wound on 5s. Have I just done it again?
Yeah, you just did it again, mate.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Would you like to start again?
Yeah, I just did the same, like literally just checked the rule, then just went, I'll take it all back, and then did it all over again. So 7 shots, hitting on 4s, not on 3s.
Yeah. Oh, that's better.
Are you sure you want me to,
yeah,
you're okay with that?
I'm okay with that. That's what I wanted.
Strength 7. Your toughness is 8 though, because you've got Might of Heroes off.
I do.
So I can only wound on 5s.
Yep.
So I wound you. You count that as a cocked die? Yeah, okay, so it's a cocked die. So I'll reroll that one.
And there was 1 failed.
So 2 wounds. So 2. So that was a 5 over there. Look, there you go. You can see it. There we go. So it's 2 wounds. That is important. That's 6. That 6 becomes AP -4. So he doesn't get a save. And it's a flat 2 damage. So he's lost 2 wounds. And there's a 3-up save against that save there. That wound there. Which he fails. So it's another 2 wounds, so he has lost 4 wounds in total. Okay, that Redemptor Dread has just taken an absolute pounding.
Yeah.
Right. So this Night Spinner over here. This Night Spinner is going to fire. Now I can't shoot at that character because the damn Hellblaster's still alive.
Yay!
If I shoot at the Redemptor Dread, I suffer -1 to hit, which means I'm hitting on 4s like the other one. I actually did some work on that Redemptor, so I am tempted, but I haven't fired that Hemlock yet. So let's not do that. Let's shoot the overkill. No, actually, I'll tell you what we'll do. Before we fire that Night Spinner, we're going to switch across to this Fire Prism. This Fire Prism is moved. Draw line of sight to those 4 Assault Marines. Its crystal targeting matrix means if it shoots the nearest enemy unit, even though it's moved, it can fire at full ballistic skill. So it has its lowest profile is D6 shots. It's heavy D6, so 3 shots in total at the Assault Marines. It's strength 6, so it wounds on 3s. So it's wounded twice. Its AP is -3, so it's 2 6-up saves. Makes
dies.
1 dies. That changes things. So because the Fire Prism has only managed to kill a single Assault Marine, I'm going to fire the Shuriken Catapult obviously as well. But because it's failed to kill the Assault Marines, the likelihood is now that Night Spinner in the middle right there is going to fire at them too. Anyway, let's fire the Shuriken Catapult first, hitting on 3s. So it hits 3 times, wounding on 4s. 6s are AP -3. So 2 6s, so 2 AP -3s, and 1 normal armour save. So that's 1 saved, 1 failed. Another 1 failed. That's 2 more Marines dead. I'm assuming all but the Eviscerator.
Correct.
Okay, so this middle Night Spinner is going to split fire. It's firing its Shuriken Catapult back at the remaining 1 Assault Marine. I know it looks like 4, but 4 of them are smouldering messes on the floor. And then it's going to fire its its Night Spinner's main weapon, the Doomweaver, over the top of this, because it can, it doesn't need line of sight to fire, into that single Hellblaster and try and kill him. Let's see if we can wipe out 2 units, 2 single Marines, in fact, with 1 tank. I mean, it's mildly overkill, but It's probably worth it, isn't it? Anyway, so the Shuriken Catapult hits on 3s, because he isn't nerfed. Hits 4 times. I want that roll again for the AP of the weapon. So it wounds on 4s.
Oh.
It wounds 3 times, and I almost did get that roll again. So we've got 2 6-up saves for the Eviscerator, and 1 armor save. No. He is dead. The Assault Marines are wiped.
Oh,
he's triple dead.
Triple dead.
So next we'll fire the Doomweaver. The Doomweaver's going to get fired over the top into this Hellblaster over here. The one remaining Hellblaster on 1 wound is going to take 2d6 shots for 7. So he takes 7 shots to the face. Now, because Crystal Targeted Matrix tells me that if I shoot at the nearest enemy unit, which actually the Hellblaster and the Assault Marines are equidistant pretty much. I know it doesn't look it, but it is. We measured, I promise. Yeah. It means that I get to fire at full ballistic skill, so I hit on 3s. Only helps me with 1 shot anyway, 2 shots in fact. Strength 7, toughness is 3, so wound on 3s. Is there any 6s? There's no 6s. Why am I rerolling that?
Because it cocked.
I mean, I'll take it, because that kills him.
It does.
That's AP -4. The Hellblaster has died. Now, you rolled earlier to see if he got to fire again when he died, and you rolled a 4+. So I'm going to let you use that roll now.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I'm kind like that, because you've already rolled it once.
Yeah.
So what would you like to shoot at?
I'm overcharging him, and he's firing at
the spinner?
The spinner.
The wounded spinner? Okay, cool.
Spinner.
So 2 shots hitting on 3s. He hits both times. That's good. Wounding on 3s, because he's strength 8. He wounds twice. AP -4, I get no save. So on a d6 he blows up. Nope, he doesn't blow up. The Night Splinter is a wreck. The Hellblaster's final act of heroism in this instance was in fact destroying a tank on his way down. He takes his final wound from that Night Splinter, decides that he's not going to take it laying down. The tank is now a wreck. Okay, so the final act comes from the Farseer, the Warlord in the middle. He has a Shuriken pistol. So he's going to open up with his Shuriken pistol and try and kill one of the Primaris Marines. He's not going to kill him because he can only do a single wound, but he can wound one of the Primaris Intercessors in front of him. So he hits on a 2. He hits. He wounds on a 4. Ooh, that's a cocked die.
It is.
He wounds on a 5, so you have a Primaris Marine with a 3-up armor save.
Safe.
So he saves. That's the final act of the shooting phase, or is it? Is it? You're hoping I've forgotten about my Hemlock Wraith Fighter.
I had.
Yeah. So my Hemlock. So over here, Tiggy is the nearest to the Hemlock. Oh no. Well, oh no for you. Oh yes for me. So we're going to split fire with the Hemlock. One of his heavy D5s is going to go into Tiggy because he's got 1 wound remaining, and I want him dead. The other heavy D5 is going to go into the Redemptor Dread in front of him because why not? I don't know how many wounds he's got left, but let's try and take some off of him. So the first one who goes into Tiggy is D3 shots.
For 1.
For 1. The other one that goes into the dreaded D3 shots.
It's cocked.
Oh, I just saw the sign and got excited. For 1 again. Dreadful this time. So Tiggy is wounded on 2s. So he is wounded. AP -4. So Tiggy, who tried giving his life for the cause earlier, has finally carked it. He's dead, he's gone, he's deceased, he is a dead Tiggy. Off he goes. I'll take him off. Cool. Okay, so single shot only, but it didn't do too badly. He's dead. Anyway, the Redemptor Dread is strength 12. The Redemptor Dread is currently toughness 8 because of the psychic power. So I wound on 3s. And I wound. It is also -4 AP and is 2 damage flat. So the Redemptor Dread has lost another 2 wounds.
Down to 7.
Down to 7 wounds. But it doesn't nerf him, does it? Because he was originally on 13.
It was.
So he's still at full strength at the moment. That's that one done. That's the end of the Eldar shooting phase. And we're going to roll straight into combat. So, I decided I'm going to leave him alone. I don't want to charge him because I will just tie my stuff up for ages and probably not kill him. And I'm probably better off shooting him. So if I keep back and he charges me, then I do get some sort of overwatch, which is probably the plan. So the only thing to do is fight over here with the Seer. Now, no one charged this turn, so it's the psychic phase, it's the fight phase, but I get to activate first because it's my fight phase. So the Seer has got 2 attacks, and he's going to swing and chop and shoot at the Primaris Lieutenant, I think. So he hits on 2s. He hits with 1 again. He wounds on 2s. He wounds, the Lieutenant gets a 3-up armor save. which he fails, so he loses a wound. And now it's a force weapon, essentially. So it does D3 wounds every time you fail a save. For 1. Just 1, he loses a wound, like I said. So the Lieutenant is down to 4 wounds.
Yep.
And now you get to activate back. I'm going to assume that Lieutenant is going to slap him clean in the chops.
That's what we're hoping for. He's been quite good so far.
So he gets 4 attacks.
4 attacks.
And he hits on 2s, rerolling 1s. So he's hit 3 times, reroll the 1s for the Chapter Master. Hit all 4 times. His strength is 5 because he's still got Might of Heroes.
He does.
So he wounds on 3s. So he's wounded 3 times. The Seer gets no save because Null Zone's in and it's AP -3. So all I have is my 5 pluses. So if I fail 2 of these 5 pluses, oh no, I didn't get Fortune, did I? I haven't got Fortune anymore. The Seer is dead.
He's dead.
Which is amazing, and I'll tell you why. So the Farseer is dead, or is he? The Farseer carries the Phoenix Gem, that rare relic. When his final wound is lost, you roll a d6 for every unit within 3 inches, which is all of them. On a 2+, they suffer D3 mortal wounds. If any model is slain in that process, he doesn't die. He remains on a single wound. So, let's go first for the Captain and Garvis armour on a 2+. Like that, he suffers D3 mortal wounds. For 1, he suffers a mortal wound, that's it.
Fine.
So, the Lieutenant, who has 4 wounds remaining, you said?
Yeah.
On a 2+. Nope, he's fine. The Intercessor squad at the back here, the guy with the red helmet clipped to his belt. Let's roll for him.
Yeah.
2+.
Been done.
3. He suffers D3 mortal wounds.
For
1. You're lucky.
Yep. He's got 1 left.
So he's got a wound left.
Banner bearer.
Nope. The normal Primaris Intercessors on a 2+ suffer D3 mortal wounds.
Nope.
Nope. And now finally, the Banner Carrier, the Courier, D3. Nope. A 1. He's safe. He survived. I need to make sure I have to kill someone to stay alive because I think I have to make sure an enemy model is slain. So I've read the rule. It is for unit, not for model. However, it also says that if a mortal wound is inflicted, he doesn't die. Not if a model is killed or slain. So the Seer remains on 1 wound.
Oh.
Look at that.
So he'll die next time.
However, the fight phase isn't finished. So your 2 Primaris Marines can still attack him. So you've got 3 attacks from the Sergeant, 2 attacks from the normal Marine. Hitting on 3s. Please whiff.
Nope.
So you've hit with all 5 attacks. Their strength 4. He's toughness 4. It's 4 to win. 2 wounds. So 2 4 armor saves. So he dies again. This time he doesn't get to blow up and die and kill everyone else in it. Not that he did that in the first place. But he is now dead. Brom's got to slay the Warlord. Some more Ultramarine blood has been spilt. However, there is still a 5-man assault squad in high orbit, ready to come in hard and fast and try and turn this battle, try and turn the tide, maybe hunt down the Courier. Because so far, they've got nowhere near the Courier on the Eldar side. Maybe they don't know who he is. The Seer, the Warlord, clearly probed. He clearly found the Ultramarine Courier, and then he went for the kill. However, the Primaris Marines stood fast and stood strong, and even when the Phoenix Gen exploded and erupted, they still stood there when the dust settled, and they've consolidated forward. They're pushing on. They're hunting for my Courier. They're coming in for the kill. He's obviously quite well protected at the moment, so it'll be interesting to see what Mike does on his second turn. It'll be interesting to see where he drops this 5-man Marine squad size in. Obviously, being the first game, I'm trying to keep it quite exciting. I actually think this is quite a good game, but it does look a little bit like it's swinging in the Eldar's favour. Maybe I've got too many big toys for him to handle. We'll see what happens when his assault squad still comes in. His Redemptor Dread is down to 7 wounds, but it's still at full strength, so he can still do some work. So far, he's ignored these flyers, which has been interesting, and they have caused some absolute carnage. But we'll see. Let's move on to Ultramarines turn 2. The Ultramarines have drawn in on their target. We think they found the Courier. They know who they're after. They've pushed through that little chasm there. 2 Intercessors have popped out alongside the Lieutenant. The Lieutenant's now got fresh bloodshed on his sword. He wants more heads. He wants more Eldar heads. So they've pushed through. The Assault Marines have deep struck in.
They are closing on their target. He's decided to ignore the flyers again because he wants to take out my courier. If he gets the courier, he wins the game, no matter how few models he's got left. Part of the reason why I love these open war cards. So, his chapter master, has moved around the back here with his courier. His courier is pushing towards my models, which seems like an odd choice, but I'm sure he's doing it for a purpose, for a reason. I'm sure he's trying to keep him alive. Behind him is the single wounded Intercessor Sergeant, basically now become his personal bodyguard. And finally, the Redemptor Dread has turned around and marched towards. He can see through this this foliage. He can see through to these scatter bikes here, so I'm sure we know probably where most of his firepower is going to go. Anyway, Mike spent a couple of minutes working out what he's going to do, and I'm pretty sure we're now ready for the apprentice to become the master. Tiggy's dead. He can't do any psychic powers, but as we move into the Ultramarine Psychic phase, he's going to cast...
He's going to smite in the smite phase.
He's going to smite in the smite phase. So the nearest model to him is the Warlock Conclave in the front. So, 2d6. They're both cocked.
Thank you. Yeah.
You get it with 11, which is amazing, because if you do get this as d6 mortal wounds. However, I'm going to try and deny it with my Farseer. And I can re-roll my Deny the Witch test, but I don't think there's much point to try and get double sixes. So you get d6 mortal wounds on the Warlocks.
Come on.
6. Both Warlocks have been killed by Smite. That makes a huge difference. He could still win this. Look at that now. The courier is out in the open. He is ready to be assaulted by the Primaris Marines. What's next, mate?
Might of Heroes.
Might of Heroes from the Librarian. Yeah. And I'm going to assume that his target model is the Lieutenant over here.
Of course it is.
Let's power him up.
6.
Oh, you needed that.
I needed that.
You really needed that. He does not get Might of Heroes. The Librarian fails to power the Lieutenant up. Why, we don't know. Perhaps the Eldar blocked him. Mm-hmm. Perhaps the Farseer can sense his impending doom. So that's it done. That's the Psychic phase finished for the Ultramarines. We're going to move on to Ultramarines turn 2 shooting phase. Okay, so small arms fire has reined in. We've done some little bit of shooting off camera. Now I'm getting the hang of this. We're making some better decisions, I think, rather than showing you absolutely everything. So the 4 Assault Marines with bolt pistols fired in and did nothing at all, unfortunately. The Libby fired his pistol. He took a wound off this back bike here, so he's killed 1. I thought next would be the Intercessors and the Lieutenant. However, if he manages to kill these 3 bikes, they can open up on the courier. So, Mike's decided that next his Redemptor Dread's going to fire. So because he's unloading absolutely everything on the 3 scatter bikes, and it could have an impact as to what happens next, we're going to record this and see what happens. So first, I believe, is his Macroplasma for D6 shots.
And we are going to overcharge it.
Yeah, I'd like to see a 1 now and then a 1 after.
Do I need to? You are multi-wound bikes. Yes, we do want to. So it's 5 shots.
5 shots, yeah, that wasn't cut. I'm happy with that one.
Yeah.
So 1 more. So it's 5 shots hitting on 4s because he moved. But he does get to reroll the 2.
And the 3.
No, the 3's a natural hit and you moved. It's a heavy weapon, so you don't get to reroll that.
That's cocked. Come on, stay in there.
No, so it's 2 misses but 3 hits. But that's enough. It's now 2s to wound. It ignores their armour and it will kill all the bikes. So that's 3 wounds. All 3 bikes are killed. 2 wounds apiece from the plasma. That means that although the Redemptor Dread can't fire any more of his weapons, that means the courier is open to fire from these Intercessors and from this Lieutenant. So let's just remove these 3 bikes out of the picture. Let's get rid of them. Yes, thank you.
Oh, I'm happy taking Eldar.
Yeah, I thought you might be, yeah. So, I mean, when you look back at this battlefield, he hasn't got a lot left, and it looks like I'm dominating, but because he's managed to keep his courier alive on my little assault early on, this is turning fast, and my 6 wounds, toughness 4, pointy elf sat here, he could be in trouble now. So what's next, Mike?
We're going straight into Intercessors.
So the 2 Intercessors are now going to fire their bolt rifles, I believe they're called, into the Farseer, into the courier. Hitting on 3s. So you hit twice.
Hit twice, re-rolling the fails. Come on.
I'm okay with it, don't worry.
Yeah.
Cool, that's 4 hits. So he's been nailed. So strength 4, toughness 4. It's now 4 to wound the courier. That's 3 wounds at AP -1. However, he still has his 4 up vulnerable, and with Tiggy dead, there is no more null zone. So 3 4 up vulnerable saves. He fails all 3. He's now down to 3 wounds remaining. That courier is in trouble right now. The Eldar could lose this on this turn because, of course, what's coming up next is the assault phase.
After.
But firstly, he's got his lieutenant. He's going to fire his bolt pistol.
Yeah.
Hits on a 3. Hits. Wounds on a 4. Wounds. They're on it now. They're on target. The Ultramarines have found their prey. They're closing in. He suffers another wound. He's down to 2. 2 wounds remaining. This game could end on game turn 2 with this courier being slain. And I thought I was quite safe.
Okay.
Right, what's next?
So we can fire the others, and I kind of want to. So we'll
Do
fire
it.
them.
Do it. It's
Yeah.
fine.
So they have to fire at what they can see. So we'll go up to here.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, shoot at you.
So after waving his finger around, he's basically chosen
Yeah.
to fire at the Crimson Hunter. Go on. So
Four
4 shots hitting on 4. So 3 is minus 1. So you get to reroll the 1 and the 2. You don't get to reroll the 3s. So 1 hit on the flyer. Strength 4. Toughness is 6. 5. So when nothing happens, we rolling 1s for the lieutenant. No.
Nah, because this guy is out. And
You
so
sure?
I wouldn't claim that. No.
Cool. Okay.
So bolt pistol is 12-inch range. So we are going to fire this up here. from
Yeah.
the
Cool. I thought you might.
Chapter Master. 3 shots. Probably should have fired the other guys at it.
So 3 hits. That's 2 wounds. And he saves one of his dice and fails the other, so he's down to 1 wound. But more importantly, that courier is down to 2 wounds, whilst the Marines finish their shooting phase and move into the charge phase. I fear I don't need to pause this and ask you what you're going to do. I think we know what's coming.
I'm going to charge.
Yeah, okay, what's charging first? Be clever.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, just to explain, for those of you who don't know, this Libby here, obviously when we did the psychic phase was over here. Mike then did lots of swearing off camera and realised he forgot to move him. Because it had absolutely no impact, because all he did was move him to a position where I wasn't occupied anyway. I was like, just do it now, mate. I don't mind, it's friendly. And that's the whole point in this channel on these games, is they're supposed to be friendly. So I allowed him to move his librarian, that's why he sat where he is right there. Go on, charge face, what are you charging?
So the Assault Marines. No, we're gonna charge these Intercessors.
Yep. Into the Warlord.
Into the Warlord.
Not Warlord, sorry. Courier. The Warlord's
Courier.
dead.
Yep.
So we have 4 shots hitting on 6s for nothing, and a singing spear hitting on 6s
Nothing.
for nothing. So what's their charge distance?
2d6.
You sound nervous.
I am nervous.
And they make it. They make it in easily. So these 2.
It matters, doesn't it? A little bit. Cool.
Well,
they're not in the way of the other
the
guys.
one you want in is him, really.
It is, yeah.
So if you give him that gives him some space to get in, and him some space to kind of get in.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to go base to base. You can give the librarian space. Who's next? Libby or Lieutenant?
The Lieutenant.
Lieutenant's going to
Should
charge.
we know what we want? Because add to the drama.
Add to the drama. Go on. Let's have a look at this. So he is 3 inches away. So you need 3 inches to make. Well, he's just over 3 inches. No. The Lieutenant fails to get into combat. He's just over 3 inches. 2 would have done it if he was on 3. But you know what? I'm gonna check this without a camera in my hand, without you leaning over the table. Okay, so I don't like to admit it because I really wanted him to fail, but I've just put the camera down, and without Mike leaning over the rocks and leaning over the table, me using the tape measure properly, he is 2.6 inches away. 2.6 inches away means a charge roll of 2 makes it, because it makes it within an inch. So the Lieutenant on 4 wounds moves to within an inch of the Farseer on 2 wounds. Next, I guess the Libby's going to charge.
Yes. In the same. And he easily
And he's well in, so the Libby's also in. Okay, so the Assault Marines are going to charge into the Scatterlaser jet bikes. The Wind Riders are under the Kosh, so they will fire Overwatch 6s to hit. And they manage to hit you once. Strength 6 means it's 3 to wound. They don't wound. What roll do the Assault Marines get to make combat? 9. They will also make it into combat. The Ultramarines are on fire here. They are incensed. They found their target. They found their prey, and they are closing in. Okay, so do you want to get your attacks ready? Because you get to attack with everything first. I haven't got the command points to interrupt you. So first of all, let's do the Lieutenant on the courier.
Yep.
Because if he dies, the game ends. So 4 attacks.
4 attacks.
Hitting on 2s.
No re-rolls.
No rerolls. Which doesn't matter, you hit 4 times. 4 times. Strength is 5 for Might of Heroes. Toughness is 4,
No.
it's 3 to wound.
He's not Might of Heroes.
You didn't get Might of Heroes.
Didn't get Might of Heroes off, did I?
Oh, you failed.
He's
Strength 4, toughness is 4, so it's 4 to wound. He gets
Doesn't
2
matter.
wounds on the Seer. His AP is -3, but I do this time get an invulnerable save.
Yes.
He
saved
passes 1 invulnerable save. He's down to 1 wound. Let me guess. The Librarian will strike next.
Has to. With his Force Sword. So he has 3 attacks.
Hitting on.
3s.
3 attacks hitting on 3s from the Librarian. He hits all 3 times. That's a good start. His strength is 4.
Strength is 4.
Toughness is 4. He needs to wound on 4. He
Rerolling
wounds
a
once.
For the Lieutenant, he just wounds once.
So he wounds the once.
-3.
It's -3, but I get my 4 up on vulnerable save. Let's hope for this.
Come on, D3 wounds afterwards.
Right here. He passes. His vulnerable save passes. He's alive. It's going to rely on a standard intercessor, I think they're called, or a
2.
sergeant to take his final wounds. They have 5 attacks, hitting on 3s. They hit with all 5. The intercessors doing some work for you tonight. They wound on 4s, rerolling 1s for the lieutenant. So they've wounded 3 times so far. This is ominous. They've wounded 4 times. The lowly intercessor sergeant pulls his combat knife, jams it into the Farseer's throat.
No way.
No, he doesn't. The Farseer dodges. The Farseer survives. Okay, so next is the Assault Marines attacking the scatter bikes. The Ultramarines are so close.
Yeah.
They are so close. So, 8 attacks hitting on 3s. They hit not very well then, actually, do they? At all. It's 3 hits only. That's a pretty terrible dice rolling from the Assault Marines.
Yeah.
Wounded on 4s. They wound twice. They may kill a bike. 4 up armor save. Yes, they kill a single bike.
Eviscerate time.
So the Eviscerator now gets to swing. He has 2 attacks base and doesn't get a bonus for having the Eviscerator. It's just 2 attacks. He hits twice. He wounds on 2s, I assume.
Strength 8.
Yeah, so 2s to wound. So that's 2 wounds. What's his AP?
It is -4.
They are both dead.
D3 wounds.
They are both dead.
We get to...
Oh, D3 wounds. Sorry, they're not
D3
both
wounds.
dead. So roll your first D3. He dies. Roll your second D3. He doesn't die. He survives on a single wound. Single wound remaining. Right, so the scatterbike will fight back with his 1 attack. He hits. He wounds. An Assault Marine could go down here. Yes! He kills an Assault Marine!
Yeah, take them.
And then finally, the courier is in desperation going to try and take out the Primaris Lieutenant. He hits on 2s. He wounds on 2s. He wounds once. The Lieutenant's got his 3 up armor save.
Which he makes.
He survived. He doesn't suffer D3 wounds. The only thing left to do in this phase is take a morale check for this single bike. On a 6, he flees and leaves the courier on his own.
Which he does.
It's a 6. He flees. The cowardly Eldar retreat again. That means that the courier's left there all on his own with just 3 bikes in the flank and some air support in the skies above. That's it, I suppose. Mike, you must feel a lot more confident now.
A little bit, but I've left my banner bearer a bit open.
He's a bit open, but these flyers have to move a minimum distance of 20 inches. The likelihood of them being nearby is quite slim. The Redemptor's still there. I think you're okay. I think you're quite safe. I think I'm in trouble. I think this is yours for the taking here. Anyway, I'm going to roll a dice now, and on a 4+, we get 6 inches extra range. A 5, so we're up to 18 inches of range. 18 inches of range for all range weapons and psychic powers. Let's move on to Eldar, turn 3. Okay, so we've moved on to Eldar turn 3. I didn't think we'd get to turn 3. I was pretty sure that the Farseer was dead. I'm pretty sure my courier was gonna face the end of his life at that point.
Should have.
But luckily he's got the fly keyword. What does that mean? That means that he can fall back out of combat and basically act normally. I mean, he can psychic power and shoot. He can't charge, as far as I'm aware. Maybe you guys will correct me on that, but I know he can definitely shoot and he can definitely cast a psychic power. So he was in this melee, as you've seen. He's fallen back out of combat. He's now there, more than an inch away from an enemy unit, which is what the rules tell me I need to do. 1 wound left. There is 1 wound in between all these bikes and Mike's courier. 1 wound. So how do we get to him? Well, we have to kill that 1 wound, obviously, and that's why these bikes are here. Furthermore, the Night Spinner has moved a full 16 inches and jumped over the rock, over the Redemptor, who was tucked in, and landed more than an inch away from enemy models. So he's quite safe in there. He can look at opening up on some of these models inside. Finally, the 2 flyers have moved. So the Crimson Hunter pivoted and flown over all the rocks and the combat, looking at firing back on that goddamn lieutenant, because he just needs to die. And then finally the Hemlock pivoted ever so slightly and flew on. Why? Because I rolled a 4 up, I have an 18-inch range. That means I'm still in range of that Redemptor Dreadnought inside there for both Smite and for his heavy D-size, which is lovely. So we're going to move on to the Eldar Psychic phase. Mike's shaking his head, I don't think he's very happy. I think he expected that Farseer dead. Anyway, let's move on to the Eldar Psychic phase. So first things first, the Hemlock over there is going to cast Smite onto the Redemptor Dread. So on a 5. He gets it on a 7. Would you like to deny it with your Warlord? The Warlord, yeah? Him here.
Yeah.
Cool. So higher than a 7. That's a 6, so you need more than a 1. Yep, so you stop it. Smite does not go off from the Hemlock. However, the Farseer here, it's now his turn. So the first thing we're going to do is cast Mind War. He gets it on 11. I wish that was Smite. Would you like to try and deny it with your Librarian over here, your little apprentice sat here now?
I don't know what it does.
Mind War, I roll a dice and add my leadership. You roll a dice and add your leadership.
Ooh.
However many points I win by, you suffer mortal wounds. I'm casting on this guy here, by the way.
Yes. I would like to... Yes. You're going to smite me afterwards.
Yep.
So no, I'm not
No?
going to. No,
So-
because you've got to roll a dice, and that
I'm going to roll a dice and add my leadership. That's
Cocked.
cocked, unfortunately.
Otherwise, 4.
It's exciting. Oh no, it went all that way.
Oh.
4. 4 plus 9 is 13. 5 plus...
His sergeant. I wish I knew. But I get +1 for being within the banner, and +1 for being Ultramarines.
So 2.
even
So
if he's
5 becomes 7
9.
plus 7 is 14.
Yes.
But he's a sergeant, he's
His
probably
sergeant is
8.
8.
So you pass, that's fine, you're okay, you get away with that one. However, now I am going to cast Smite, which I get for 7.
And I am now going to try and deny it, which I don't.
So I get D3 mortal wounds, and he is dead. That sergeant is dead.
He's going to roll to fire.
Yeah, of course.
And
No, he doesn't. So he's dead, he's removed. That is obviously very, 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 very good for me.
Yeah.
So, I'm not going to mess around. I'm not going to worry about firing with the Night Spinner and the Hemlock just yet. I'm going to try and kill the courier.
Just double checking.
Okay, so 4 shots from the Farseer into the courier, hitting on 2s. He hits 3 times. Strength is 4. Toughness is 4.
Yep.
4 to wound. 6 is AP minus 3. So that's 2 wounds, 1 6. So 2 3-up armor saves, 1 6-up armor save, please.
So the 6 first.
Fails. He loses a wound. 4 remaining. Fails. He loses another wound. So he's 3 wounds remaining. The Farseer now throws a singing spear, which he hits on a 3. I believe he wounds on a 2. He wounds on a 2. Yep, I was right. He wounds on a 2 plus it as an AP of nothing. I really need you to fail this armor save.
Come on.
So you pass it. Otherwise, that would have done D3 wounds. Okay, so for these bikes to get in range, to be able to shoot at that courier, they had to advance. They're assault weapons, so they can fire them having advanced, but they do suffer a -1 penalty, so they're hitting on 4s. Not that great, but enough. Enough, just.
It's got 3 wounds. 3 hits.
3 wounds, no AP minus 3s.
He's 1 wound left.
He loses 2 wounds. He's on his final wound. His final wound. Right, so we're going to move on to the rest of my shooting. So the Hemlock Wraithfighter obviously is going to fire both of his heavy D-size at the Redemptor. So do D3, automatic hits for 3 shots. 3 hits, strength 12, toughness 7, wounded on 3s. So there is 2 more wounds there at AP -4, each doing a flat 2 damage. So he's down to 3 wounds remaining.
Oh.
Which means my Night Spinner has no option but to fire at the Redemptor Dread. So firstly we'll fire at the Shuriken Catapults, hitting on 3s. Hits 3 times. Wounding on 4s. No, 5s. Doesn't wound. Next we'll fire his Doomweaver, 2d6 shots. For 7. 7 shots hitting on 3s. He's got Crystal Target and Matrix and he is the nearest. So he hits 5 times. Strength 7, toughness 7. 4's to wound. 6 is AP -4. So there is 2 wounds and 1 AP -4. It is 2 damage, so he is now down to a single wound with 2 3-up armor saves. If he fails either of these, he's dead. He failed 1. He is dead. Does he explode on a D6 roll of a 6+? No, he doesn't. He's just removed. I was kind of hoping he would blow up and do some damage to your Primaris Chapter Master. He's gone. He's dead. Anyway, then finally, I say finally, yeah, it is finally, because that fireplace is at range. The Crimson Hunter here is going to fire everything he's got at that lieutenant because he's the nearest. So we will start with the Pulse Laser. So 2 shots hitting on 3s. He hits twice. Strength 8, toughness 4, wounds on 2s. He wounds twice. It's a -3 to his armor save, so he has a 6-up save, unless he has an invulnerable.
On both.
So that's a cocked die and 1 failed. That's also a fail. There are flat 2 damage each.
No.
The lieutenant is dead. I take great pleasure in removing that model from the board.
I don't.
The Bright Lances were shooting at him as well, so they are now wasted shots. So that is literally the end of Eldar Turn 3. It's very quick now, as you can see. There is a very small contingent of Ultramarines here, castling around, wondering what the hell's gone on. Their courier is over here. Who thought the couriers would be within about 3 inches of each other, fighting it out to see who wins this game? If Mike manages to kill my courier this turn, he's won it, even with just this small amount of Ultramarines left. So let's go into Ultramarines Turn 3 and see what happens. So this is where the Marines were. Bron moved the full 6 through that little canyon. And he's managed to get them to come out the other side here. I don't know if you can see that very well. There we go, that's a better look. Librarian tucked in the hole there. More importantly, his Chapter Master, well, I mean, he should be more than an inch away, Michael.
Sorry. Apologies. He is.
Yeah, is going to probably charge and then take this Seer's head. When he failed to kill him on the last turn, on his Ultramarines turn 2, I thought that this was my game. I thought this will be not easy, but this is now mine to win. Then when I failed to take that final wound from his courier, yeah, that didn't help me out. So my Seer is now left as the closest model and probably going to get charged, and he's probably going to die. So, I mean, the logical thing to do at this point would be to concede, but I'm not going to take that victory from you.
Thank you. Although I say thank you like I've done it, but
I know
there's no guarantee.
I know how desperate he is to win the first game on the channel.
It'll be amazing.
On my channel, I'm just saying. This is a bit rude.
Sorry.
But yeah, so we're going to roll for this. We're going to see what happens. We're going to probably kill him. I'm going to lose the game. We're going to do a debrief because it's like 1 in the morning and Mike's got work tomorrow and I've got kids. And then we will try and edit this in the next week and stick it online, and hopefully you guys will love it. The crowd will go wild and we'll all be famous in about a month. That's the plan. 10,000 subscribers by Christmas. Right. So, what are we doing first, Mike? You doing any psychic phasing? Yeah, I thought you might do.
Obviously.
Some Might of Heroes happening, I'm going to assume.
Might of Heroes is happening.
Yep.
Onto the Intercessor Sergeant.
The Intercessor Sergeant?
Yes, because I don't need to make the Chapter Master any better. He's going to use his Power Fist to punch in the face, which is times 2.
Okay, on Intercessors, I mean, it's an interesting move. Go for it.
Yep. So, he's 6. Happy?
10, so I'm going to try and deny it when I see it, obviously. I fail. I'll reroll with Reason of the Farseer. I fail again. Now, I'm interested that you put this on the Sergeant, not on the Captain or Chapter Master. I know you say he doesn't need buffing, but doesn't Might of Heroes give an extra attack?
It does.
Wouldn't you have taken that extra attack on the Strength 8 Power Fist instead of...
I probably would have.
Yeah, I thought you might. But you rolled for it now, so it's tough.
That's fine.
Right, so...
I want to make everyone useful.
Yeah, everyone's got a place in your
They
army,
do.
haven't they? Right, let's go for it. So we're on to
Smite.
Now the thing is, as you probably notice, he is the nearest. So if Smite goes off,
we
that
could
Farseer is probably dead. Come on, let's go.
Come on.
5. He gets it on 7. I get to deny a second psychic power.
Which might
I've
take
used
away.
my runes because I forgot I even had Smite. I don't get it on 6. The minimum he can do is 1.
Do you,
Right. So he has suffered 3 mortal wounds. His Ghost Helm gives him a 5-up save against mortal wounds.
It does.
5 up. First one. He's dead.
Dead.
That is your game.
Winner.
For some relief. He's a little bit happy about that.
I am.
The courier's been killed. The apprentice librarian. He has taken up Tigerius's helm. He has killed the courier. The Ultramarines have won the day, and that Primaris chapter master has been saved some degree of embarrassment because when they made Planetfall, they got hit hard and fast by the Simhan Elder Force. It was interesting. I thought that game was mine for most of it. I'm still a little bit surprised he's won. The courier is slayed. The Farseer is down. The tactical genius of the Ultramarines has shone through. Was this what the Eldar wanted? Did they need this seer dead? Did they need the Ultramarines to make Planetfall? Did they need them to find this life source? We don't know. But with the courier dead, the Eldar forces flee. They're leaving this planet. They're off to find the webway and be gone. The Ultramarines are left behind. They are whittled down. Their number are few. They've taken some heavy casualties today. Only in the near future we'll be able to tell if this sacrifice was worth it. If losing the armour, losing the manpower was worth this effort. Who knows? Who knows what that courier had on them? Only the chapter master knows. How fitting that he be the one to crush the Farseer's skull. That's the end of this game. It's been a lot of fun. I'm sure Mike will agree. I'm hoping we've told a story. I got quite excited during that game, so maybe we haven't told the story as well as I would like, but this is the first time. This is the first story. This is the sort of thing we're hoping to bring you in the future. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let's head on over to the debrief. Okay, so that's the end of the first ever game on Warhammer. And what fitting way to lose than in the Smite phase.
Smite phase.
Yeah. I hope you guys really enjoyed that. Actually, I was a bit dubious about open war cards on the channel, but I wanted to do something a bit different. I want to go down the narrative route. I don't want to play match play like everybody else, just because there's plenty of people doing that and plenty of people do that probably better than we can at the moment.
Yeah.
So I wanted to try these open war cards. When we pulled them, we were a bit like, is this going to nerf the armies too much with the 12-inch shooting and all that kind of stuff? And with the courier being a single model that's going to die, does that mean it's going to be over in the first turn? We went, you know what, no, we've drawn these cards, we're going to go with it.
Yeah.
And I'm really chuffed we did.
My army set up 36-inch range sort of pretty much across the whole army, and I was like, I'm good. I'm all right. 30-inch range, 36-inch range, I'm going to have this. And then when we were nerfed, it was like, actually, I'm rapid fire, I'm okay with this. I'm really liking this. He's got to get close. Yeah. And then I can have
so
my back.
It made me play a lot more aggressively with my Eldar, because most of my stuff's 36-inch plus range. I've got some 24-inch range cannons, and I've got my couple of squads of bikes, which actually normally I use in Maelstrom for going and getting objectives because they're just rapid and cheap.
I'm glad we weren't playing.
Yeah, they're really fast and really cheap. So that's what I use them for, and this encouraged me to be a bit more aggressive with them because I have to get in 12-inch range anyway, so why wouldn't I just use them to fire? Yeah. And actually, it's a very interesting way of playing the Eldar, and
you left
and
them
I
in
was
range
surprised,
just enough to tease me to fire at the wrong things, and
I was surprised at how much damage they kicked out in that first turn.
Yeah,
I was chuffed.
I was very surprised.
But
as
I was
well.
surprised.
I was devastated, to be fair. To start with, I was like, oh, I've lost all my big heavies, and that that doesn't happen. I've never done that before.
So first turn, I was like, I think I might have won this. But I didn't want to play that way because you never know, do you? As we've proven. And the last time Mike and I played, his Ultramarines versus my Eldar was pre-Eldar Codex. Yeah. And you wiped the floor with me.
I had Gulliman, and I had a Knight in there as well because we paid 2,500 points.
No, didn't we play on cast with your Primaris versus my Eldar?
No, not at the Eldar. We played Mechanican.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, so you did have Gullyman, yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Unpainted.
unpainted.
And yeah, and you wiped the floor with me on that game, if I
Yeah,
remember
that
rightly.
was a bit of it. You blew your own head off.
Yeah.
With your warlock.
Yeah, I took
as
loads
well.
of single warlocks and I flew in the first psychic phase. He blew his head up on a 6/6 and killed all the warlocks around him, which wasn't.
It didn't
very
kill me.
helpful. No, yeah.
Yeah, it was
very helpful at all.
amazing.
Anyway,
But-
back to this game because this is the one that counts. Basically, what I'm saying is, in the last game pre-Codex, I did take a hammer in. I'm not even sure this is going to look very good, by the way, because the lighting's rubbish. Just a random tangent.
Yeah.
I'll take a bit of a hammering because I didn't have my Codex, and he did. And I say because I'm not sure if it was just that. Maybe it was some dice rolling. Maybe it was the mission. Maybe it was the scenario.
Yeah.
But I have certainly noticed since having the Codex for Eldar that they have got significantly better than they were.
They are strong, especially the way you play
Yeah.
them with your bikes flying all over the place.
But what I'm pleased about is they're not 7th edition strong.
No.
They still fall over to a stiff breeze, which
Yeah.
is the way they should be. They should never be as survivable as they were. And I'm actually having a lot more fun running them now without any Wraith Knights or Wraith units. And because the Simhan rules and the Simhan traits, it encouraged me to go full fly keyword, jetbike skimmers everywhere, and I really love that list at the moment.
It was good fun to play against.
Yeah.
Definitely. I had to think, and I'm so glad we had an objective that was still achievable, which the open war cards gave us. If it was Maelstrom, I would have been lost
that may
pretty
have
much.
been-
I would have been neutered.
Yeah, that may have been a one-sided game. Maybe not. I don't know. It definitely helped that I seized initiative. So you may have got the first win, but I got the first season. I know which
Yes.
one's more important. Yeah, you've now run your Primaris for a few games.
Yeah.
Are you still happy with them? Because there's a lot of stuff online about how normal Marines are better than Primaris.
Yeah, I've heard you chat about that before.
Yeah.
With a few people now, and I'm still swaying. Like the tactical Marines are definitely more versatile, but the way I like to play my Marines, they'd still probably be. I wouldn't split fire as much. I would probably wouldn't make the most of a proper tactical squad. I'd need to play with them for a little bit longer. But my Primaris have a single objective. They're single focus. The way I play them is they're a punching unit. I like that, and so I'm happy with them.
Yeah.
But I don't like the fact that I can't get them into the transports that I have. So they're
'cause
foot slogging it.
You've never mentioned that before.
No. So
I mean, yeah.
that's okay.
The
That's fine.
aesthetic of Primaris Marines
Yeah.
is certainly they look nicer,
Oh, they
I
look so
think,
much
than
better.
most regular Marines. So I'll give them that
Yeah.
much. And you guys who watch this channel regularly know I don't like the fluff behind Primaris Marines. They shouldn't exist. It's
No.
ridiculous. Anyway, that's an aside. I find them a pain at 2 wounds apiece.
That
Because
is
I always
really
think,
helpful.
so I've got 20 shots or 12 shots or 10 shots or whatever, so statistically I could kill this many Marines, and you fire and go, oh yeah, they're 2 wounds each, so I can do half of what I thought I could do.
It does really help, and I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, they might be.
Obviously.
Anyway, that's just a brief sort of debrief from the game.
But
Go on, he's not done yet.
Redemptor Dread. I've played it 3 games now, and it's died first time with new model syndrome. And
Yeah.
it didn't die first,
No.
mainly because you didn't shoot it. But it actually kicked out quite a lot.
Yeah,
It killed
so
stuff.
The other games we played, actually, it didn't do all that much damage, even when it was alive. So this time I looked at the Pred and the Land Raider and I thought, they're the ones that tend to hurt me quite a lot.
They do.
Especially, I mean, the
Flat 3
Crusader,
damage.
the Crusader in rapid fire range with those Hurricane bolters doesn't sound like a lot, but when you unload that on a squad of bikes, you delete the squad of bikes every
Yeah.
time. And then the Predator, it's the autocannon, 2d3 shots, flat 3 damage each. That's horrific. When it hits, it hurts.
It
big
was quite
time.
obvious from the way I deployed that Land Raider was coming at your face.
Oh, yeah,
it was
yeah,
coming to get you.
So I wanted to get rid of those quick sharp.
Yeah.
Did I expect to blow them both up on turn 1? Probably not.
Maybe the Land Raider, but not.
I mean, the Land Raider did take a deep striking Hemlock and 2 fire prisms. Although I
Yeah.
didn't fire the second fire prism, but it was where it was going to go because I have to
Yeah.
fire at the same thing. So that was interesting. And the Hemlock, not the Hemlock, sorry, the Predator did take some lucky shots from a Crimson Hunter.
That was. I
Yeah.
didn't expect that to go.
No, I didn't expect that to go. I thought wound it,
Yeah.
take some health off of it, nerf its stats a little bit, so
Yeah.
it's a little bit reduced profile, and then maybe I've got a chance. I didn't think it would go boom,
I didn't.
but it did go boom boom.
And 4 Hellblasters. That
Yeah.
has probably made you happiest.
Oh, I love killing Hellblasters. They're like my least favourite thing. Anyway, yeah, like I say, that was a little bit of a debrief as to the game. You've just watched it, hopefully, and you've watched it all the way through, and you loved it, and you'd like us to do more. Give us comments, give us feedback. Let us know what you think. Let us know if it was good. Let us know what we did well. Let us know what we did badly, what you didn't like. Specifically, let us know rules we got wrong, because then we can remember them for the future and get them right. If you haven't seen the channel before, there is a library of about 22 to 23 videos, none of them battle reports, because it's taken us a while to get to this stage, and we have still done it quicker than I expected to, so I'm chuffed, but it has taken a while. Sponsors has helped, yeah. I'll talk about all that in a minute, but we have got, like I say, a library of 22 odd sit and talk videos. Please feel free to go and check them out and comment, and actually they've done a lot better than I ever expected. This channel has gone a lot further than I ever expected, and I'm gonna keep pushing it for you guys, because if you keep watching, I'll keep sticking it out, because I actually really enjoyed that tonight, and it's the first time I've ever filmed one, and I know for a fact there's going to be some moments when I look back and go, oh, you amateur.
Yeah.
But hey ho.
Still, it was we were buzzing playing this, and even just playing under the lights and
getting it all ready in the banner, exciting. And oh, I love it. Anyway, so the banner, the t-shirts, they are on Redbubble. So if you go over to Redbubble, it's in the description below, and click that, you can find all that stuff. There's more t-shirts, there's different types. See what I did there? More t-shirts. There's different styles, different designs. There's mugs and iPhone cases, and I've said this in every video so far. It was basically just so I could buy stuff to feed my own ego, and actually other people are buying it, so feel free to check that out. The battle mat you watched us playing on, along with the big scenery pieces, that was sent through by our sponsor GameMat.eu. Amazing company, sponsored me before I'd even done a battle report. Sent me 2 battle mats and some scenery. What a bunch of legends. So head on over to their website, again, link in the description below, and buy some of their awesome products, because they are amazing. And I've played on their battle mats at Winters and at VisiCast.
Rolling on it was lovely.
It's just so much nicer, isn't it? I know it's not scaped scenery like the GW boards, but it's just nice to play on. And then finally, you've probably seen the link above in the intro. I will have taken it off throughout the game because I don't want to annoy people, and it should be back up there now, here or there. I think I know we put it up this side. To Patreon, we have a army so far, I think I'll call it, of 18 Patreons, all of them absolute legends. I've got my own private WhatsApp chat where they can speak to me, speak to Mike, and speak to Waller, who was on the Golden Demon video. And all they do is pay me some money monthly, only a tiny amount, and they all get involved in this hobby chat, and I've had some amazing feedback from those guys.
We've been teasing them all evening.
Yeah, so if you want to be, they've had behind the scenes photos and all sorts. So if you want to be involved, and it's only if you want to, I don't expect people to, I can't quite believe I've got 18. If you want to, then head on over to Patreon, again, link below, and support the channel, and then we can kick out more of this, and we can get more scenery and more terrain, and it can all be different, and rather than the same armies and the same board at the time, which I'm very conscious at the moment it might be. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please give it a like. If you haven't already, click subscribe, because it makes a difference and it is important, and subscribers keep climbing, and at this moment we're just shy of 1,500, and I'm sure when this goes out we'll probably be over. So thank you all very much. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next one.